Okay, cool. I think we're live. Let me just check everything out.
Your mom's live.
No, she's actually not live right now.
She's very live.
Welcome to the Pipeline Podcast. Today is November 15th, and we're going to be doing a live stream of a very controversial podcast. So this is something that's not really on my radar. It's this lady. Her name is
Lady.
Yeah, it's this lady. She's an actress. Her name is Dasha Nekrasova. She's on, I believe it's the show Succession, or she was on the show until she had Nick Fuentes on her podcast, and they fired her. Something similar that happened recently that you could compare is like Jimmy Kimmel getting fired for like a day or two for saying the Charlie Kirk shooter was on the right. They tried to get rid of him, but he ended up coming back on the show. She's not as powerful or big as Jimmy Kimmel, so I don't think she's gonna get reinstated on her show that she was on. But this is very important because it goes into this whole free speech thing that everyone's been talking about. I don't know if you've heard about it, but she hosts a controversial figure on her podcast, and she did face repercussions for it. However you feel about that, right or wrong, we'll save our judgments, I guess, until the end of the podcast. But my predictions are they didn't say anything crazy here. It's just that mainstream media frames Nick Fuentes as like a white nationalist Nazi. And so I'm sure like when some producer found out that he was on Dasha's show, they freaked out and kind of fired her. That's my best guess. But what we need to do is we need to watch this podcast because this has now become an important podcast. So that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to stream it, give our hot takes.
I'm going to like fully read my questions off of the phone because
I'm going to do this.
I'm not a Zoomer, and so I don't have the total recall or mental elasticity that you guys have.
Mm-hmm.
And I like have a hard time memorizing lines, but
You
I
don't
have a
see it?
question about that.
Oh, wait.
If you
I
want to
got
go
you.
first.
I got you.
I'm such a I'm such a fan, honestly.
I'm such a
that I'm
fan,
like-
honestly.
My questions initially, I was like, oh, he's gonna feel like I'm like they're like super chat tier. Like, what should I read? No.
I actually do have a
Yeah, this might be hard to get through because these two ladies are like LA like actresses. I'm assuming she is on the right. This lady on the left is Dasha, the girl that got fired from her Succession role. So it might be hard to listen to.
The vocal fry is ridiculous.
Yeah, they have the Valley Girl voice.
question about that maybe I'll just start with because
Okay, let's go.
so
Let's go.
I watched your
Let's go.
comments about the Hassan Piker Ross Douthat interview, and you were talking about what an astonishing, mind-boggling retard Hassan was.
Agreed.
He's like, my worldview was about the distribution of wealth and the distribution of power, or what did he say?
and I
Something
shocked
like
my dog.
violence is a scary concept. Like, oh, it's a concept. It's conceptual. And there was a pretty classic tweet that was something to the effect of like, the problem with the left is that they pretend like to not understand anything, making all discourse impossible. And so my first question is,
I gotta give it to her. That's a pretty good take. No offense, but I didn't think she was gonna have like real takes. I don't know who this lady is.
are they pretending, or are they just truly retarded and don't understand how things work? And then my second question was, in that clip you talk about how you read a lot of stuff on both the right and the left, and I'm curious, what are you reading from the left, and who do you think is like smart, energetic, worthwhile? Who are you looking at?
Okay,
On the
yeah.
left?
I think they lie. Like when Hassan was asked, what is your cause? He gave like such a vague answer. It was like, well, I want,
Real quick,
it was something
did you
like we
see
want the
the
poor.
Sun put out like that propaganda video about China.
No, was that recently?
I think so.
No, I haven't heard anything about it.
to have more stuff or
Anyways.
something like that.
Yes.
And Ross kept asking him, well, what does that mean? And eventually got him to like, okay, so eventually the cops are going to come to the rich and take their stuff at gunpoint.
Yeah.
And Hassan was like, well, yeah, we're not going to shoot them, but there's the implied threat of force. And Mamdani
days
said
ago.
the same thing.
4
He was
days
on The
ago.
View and he said, I'm a
He got
democratic
arrested
socialist. And
in
they said,
China.
what?
I heard that he didn't actually get arrested, and that was fake news. I tried to follow it, and I couldn't find a good
Might-
source on
He
it.
might
I
saw
I
some
heard
video
about that a little
where
bit.
it's in like Tiananmen Square or something, and they're filming, and a cop comes up and asks if they're filming, and they lie and say no or something.
In China, that's not the best idea.
Yeah, I didn't fully understand it, but it's only because I YouTube autoplay.
Yeah, I feel that.
What does that mean? And he said, well, as Dr. King said, he said,
Yeah.
you can call whatever you want, but, we want a more equitable distribution of wealth. And of course, the implication is they want to kill the kulaks. They want to take their
Yes.
stuff. But they don't want to say that because they don't want to spook the professional
Yeah,
managerial.
It's alienating.
So they
and
say
Right.
the bus will
a
be
deal
free.
breaker. Yeah.
I'm a socialist. I just want the bus,
The bus
to
to
be
be
free.
free. We're instituting like free healthcare, free childcare. We're doing away with the gifted and talented programs, that sort of thing. Yeah. He said, yeah, I'm like a Scandinavian, but more brown.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Which sounds awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Curve.
So I think they lie. I think that it's a lot of euphemistic stuff. And I think that's a recognition that the left is not popular anymore. 10 years ago, I think they were maybe more open about how radical they were. It was like cool to signal that they
Yeah.
were like communists or far left. And now they're kind of afraid even to be super woke or super communist. So I think they hide that.
Well, now, yeah, when questioned about whether they're like socialists or communists, they'll be like, "Oh, I'm a social democrat or a democratic socialist or whatever." But do you really think that they're lying, and do they know that they're lying?
Yes, I think
Yeah, if you want to look at the way Mamdani toned down all of his opinions after he won the primary, I mean, you could say it's a lie for him to at first say the NYPD does more harm than good, but then after he won the primary, he says like, "Oh, that was, I didn't mean that. I don't think we should actually defund the police. We should just reallocate the funds." Like, if you want to call that lying, you can call it lying. I would just say it's like toning down your opinions to be more mainstream. I don't really know if that's a lie, but it is fake, whatever it is.
it's intentional. I think they're obscuring it.
But to what end?
Yeah, it could be
Like,
intentional.
what does Hassan
He's
Piker
not wrong.
really
Do you think
want?
like Hassan Piker and Zohran Mamdani actually want to reappropriate the wealth of like middle class white people at gunpoint?
I do, yeah. I think that,
I
well,
don't
I mean,
think so.
Hassan, he is a Marxist, and I think Zohran is a democratic socialist. He said there shouldn't be
Get paid
billionaires.
to push propaganda.
So it's like, what's the implication? There's going to be like a confiscation or a taxation policy that's confiscation. And I think it's sort of like what people on the far right do. On the far right, there's this insinuation, and even like conservatives that don't know they're far right. It's like, well, we're against illegal immigration, and what they're implying is like we want like a white country. We want a more white, but they don't want to say it. I think the communists do for retail politics. They do a similar thing. They don't want to
Sure.
scare everybody.
That makes sense. What time do you wake up?
Uh,
I know you're a night owl.
well,
That's the girl who got fired. That's the kind of question she's asking Nick Fuentes. What time do you wake up? And she got fired for having him on. That's crazy.
it's all over the place. I mean, my sleep schedule kind of like migrates throughout the day. Like sometimes I go to bed at 9 a.m. and wake up at 5 p.m. Sometimes,
So you're that, yeah.
yeah.
that,
Sometimes
yeah.
I go to bed at like 6 a.m. and
could she
wake
get
up,
fired?
but it's all over the place.
So you like get
Yeah.
your day started at night.
Yeah, sometimes.
Well,
The
what about
dark
on
night.
average?
It's really
There's
just
no
totally
average,
random. Yeah.
yeah.
It's just kind of when I get exhausted, I go to bed.
But you don't drink and you don't
Intuitive.
smoke.
No.
And I don't know if this is like established Fuentes lore, but I guess like a lot of our listeners are not like groypers or whatever. Why don't you drink?
I never did when I was a kid, and I really just hate the idea of being in an altered state of mind. It
Okay.
like gives me a lot of anxiety. That's why I don't do drugs. Any
Have you ever
tried?
tried?
never, no.
Well, how do you know?
How do you know?
Because
you
I
don't do
think
drugs
about
if you haven't
like the
tried?
physiological effects, and I get like a weird anxiety
They're like, yo, I got a Xanny. You want to pop it? Come on, let's have some fun.
about that, you know.
Are you afraid of like losing control or making a fool of yourself? Or
That's a big part of it too. I don't like the because I see people get drunk and they act like idiots.
yeah.
So that's part of it too.
You've never smoked a cigarette?
Never, no.
Wow.
Damn.
Wow.
And you don't have any
Yeah.
curiosity about it.
No, not
You've
at all.
never. I mean, I guess it's easy like if you haven't done it to
Mhm.
like not lose sleep over the fact that you haven't.
Yeah, no, I never had any inclination.
I can't believe
For it.
anyone sees this
Do you-
podcast as controversial.
you never thought it was
This is
cool?
ridiculous.
I
'Cause
think it
that's
is
how we-
cool. Like
to smoke
smoking cigarettes
yay?
is cool.
You think it's
It is
Okay,
cool.
good.
It
That
is
makes me
definitely
feel
cool.
better.
Yeah.
I actually quit, but
Mm.
I miss it.
Sort of.
You
Sort
vape,
of.
though. You're vaping.
I smoke
Yeah.
cigarettes and vape. I
Yeah.
vape, in the
The
home.
vaping scares me. Or don't you think that's gonna like?
Oh my god! Yeah,
Mess
It
you
is.
up?
It is
China
fucking
is
gross and
Chinese.
evil and
It's-
scary,
it's
but we still do it.
Chinese.
And
It's
I think vaping is one of those things like SSRIs or birth control that it's going to come out years later that it's actually far worse for you than cigarettes.
That's a hot take.
oh yeah. The Elf bar. This is
Yeah.
made in China.
Yeah, and it has
This
like
is like a
weird like
toxic-
Foxconn tropical flavors
Yeah.
up in there.
It's a terrible.
It's made by
Yeah, I've heard the argument between vaping and cigarettes. I've actually heard people say I trust cigarettes more because at least I know what's in them. That's kind of the argument that's like anti-vaping, pro-cigarettes.
slaves.
I wish. I wish I didn't, but
Hmm.
what are you gonna do at this
Yeah.
point?
Do you have like a daily health or beauty routine? Do you care
No.
about that? I asked you before we started rolling the footage whether you like care more about your looks, your weight, that sort of thing now that you have more exposure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I wish I looked better, but I just don't have the discipline to like, because I go on and off of like diets
I think he looks totally fine.
and things like that. Like I'll say I'm only going to eat one meal a day or 2 meals a day or something, but then I get really miserable. You know, if I'm not eating, if I'm not constantly eating things I like, then I get really depressed. So,
I think when you're 27,
mhm.
Yeah.
when you're young, it's like you should do like an intuitive. If it makes you feel good.
Not even, you can just do whatever the fuck you want.
Not now. Now I'm getting a little gaining weight
Nick,
now.
I'm gonna be real with you. You
Your
have, like,
metabolism is going to
about 10 years before you hit rock bottom
Yeah.
and regret all your decisions and want to make some like real like dietary and health moves, but you're lucky because you never got into the drinking or drugs or smoking, so
Yeah.
you're already like ahead of the curve.
It's going to keep you well preserved.
Do
for
you
sure.
do you fluctuate in
What
weight?
is this?
I do, yeah, I do. Well, because I go through periods of just like uncontrolled binge eating, and then I notice my face getting chubby, and people tell me, they say, you're looking fat. And then I scale it back.
Who's telling you that?
The viewers on my show.
Oh yeah.
Is this okay? The
Yeah,
monitor?
That's what
okay.
I'm
Noticed that.
thinking.
Just making sure.
Should I check?
Do you want
Yeah,
to? Do you want to
right?
like? Yeah.
I don't
I'm
know.
sorry.
No, you're
There's
fine.
a
I
big
just-
learning curve for me. Like, it's
Just for
really
your
the
sake, I don't wanna-
gaffing and stuff. It's
Yeah.
insane.
Well, I mean, if something's wrong with it, we like lose the footage, but
We'll
we
still have the audio.
Oh, okay.
but yeah, we should.
Which is better for us anyway, because
Whoops.
This girl is like high.
people are always like picking up our appearances, so I almost prefer
Okay.
that we don't have the video.
It's working.
Cool. I think it's probably safe to, whatever.
I think it's okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. We pulled it off.
These were going to be like my end of the episode softball questions, but I'm going to front load them.
Why?
No, I don't know. They just happened
Yeah.
organically that
Naturally,
I was curious about his like weight loss regimen. Would you ever go on like Ozempic or
No.
Retarditude?
No, I don't
Retarditude? That's
trust
not
all
real,
that
is it?
stuff. I feel
Yeah, I
like
don't
it's not
either.
proven, and
Yeah.
it's also just there's something. I know this word spiritually does like a lot of heavy lifting on Twitter these days, but I
Yeah.
feel like spiritually there's something wrong about like a
Yes.
fat reduction drug.
Yeah.
Like if you
Well-
can't control your eating, I feel like that's a problem.
I agree.
Right,
It
like
feels like cheating.
suppressing.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Suppressing your appetite seems bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and unless you have like a
Like, you need
a
that.
serious like genetic anomaly or food addiction, it really is like a matter of just.
They just did something with Ozempic where they made the prices cheaper. I haven't really looked into it yet. I don't know if it's like a scam to make these Ozempic providers more money or if it was actually good for people. I haven't looked at it yet. I don't know.
Discipline and you feel better and are prouder of yourself if you do it the hard way.
I also think it's going to devalue thinness, and that's my issue with it. It's
It'll be aristocratic to be fat again.
Yeah, exactly. And
She's
that's
like,
gonna
anyone could be thin. Ew.
Yeah.
because being naturally thin is really one of the only things I have going for me.
Yeah.
Especially after this show came out and she got fired.
And I want to live
self-aware.
near thin people,
Yeah.
though, too. People are too fat, so...
Are people pretty fat in Chicago?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Maybe in New York,
Yeah.
people are skinnier, but everywhere else, it's
I'm
just...
pretty sure New York is the skinniest city in America. I saw that somewhere. Because everyone's walking here.
fat city.
Well, the problem is if you want to live around fat or thin people, you have to live in historically liberal cities like Boston or San Francisco,
Right.
Boston.
where everybody is like fit and looks great well into their 40s or 50s. But there's a lot of like LGBT crap and they're all libtarded, which is great. Like it's a
And they're
higher
all
quality of life. People have a higher taste level, but then you have to like, when you go out, you have to like humor them and not like piss them off.
Which is
I
fun.
can't relate to
I
it.
don't.
It's
It's
like
not
these girls
vaccinate your
talking about
kids.
Are you vaxxed?
No, absolutely. Are you guys?
I
You are?
am. Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, I could tell.
What
I
happened
have to do
there?
it for work.
Yeah.
Don't you work here? Like,
No, but not only.
I
She's a
was
working
on an
actress.
HBO
A little
show.
show.
oh,
anymore.
that's right. Yeah.
And they didn't technically mandate it, but they kind of made me feel like
Oh,
Yeah.
I wouldn't get to go to Italy. I wouldn't get to,
That's
and
crazy.
I regret it. But
Yeah.
which one'd you get?
Pfizer?
It's over for you.
No,
Spike
that was
protein has
why.
got you.
Why?
Mad cow disease incoming.
But what's the difference? But if you
fine.
but if you had COVID, aren't you exposed to the same? Like you're fucked either way, right?
That is true. Yeah,
Yeah.
my buddy told me that. My pro-vax friend said that the COVID is what's killing everybody. It's like, okay.
Yeah, that
I
makes
don't
sense.
buy
I
it.
mean, yeah, totally. I didn't get vaccinated. I almost died. But I think
Really?
had I
From
vaxxed,
COVID?
I would have. Well, I had a freak autoimmune reaction because I had given birth recently, and
okay.
my immune system was not back to normal, and I have like rheumatoid arthritis in my family.
I gotta say, listening to them talk about health stuff is hard to watch.
Suffering and death on me. And now, if you go back and look at the medical literature, a lot of people who got vaxxed had the same reaction. So I was just like, it was,
Yeah.
but it was kind of beautiful and poetic because I was known as this like racist, fascist, anti-vaxxer who got what she deserved, and
You felt vindicated.
I mean, it's not even that. Like, I'm giving it to them. They won because they got to feel like a moral high ground because I was talking all this shit, and
You're just
I
desserts.
paid for it. Yeah.
What do you feel the most vindicated about?
Where to start? Everything.
Recently,
Trump. Definitely on Trump. And
Really? Yeah.
Oh,
on Trump, on Elon. I mean, the biggest thing was like Iran. Because I feel like that wasn't on anybody's radar last year.
That's
No,
a little
no.
like out of our league, I think, but you can explain it.
Well, yeah.
You know, Trump bombing Iran.
Oh.
Because a year ago, like, no one was thinking we would be on the edge of a war with them. Because it just wasn't. The war was in Gaza. The war was in Lebanon.
I'm not familiar with how many podcasts Nick Fuentes does other than his show, but I think him coming on a podcast like this is a great idea because it gives him the chance to explain all these like anything political that's kind of more than half baked. Like he gets to explain that to normal people, and that's kind of I think he's trying to do that with Iran right here. Which I think is a good idea if you're Nick Fuentes trying to spread the good word.
And Iran did not seem like an imminent threat. It wasn't in the news. And I remember telling people, like, we're going to war with Iran. It's going to happen. Take it to the bank. And people said, yeah, I just don't see it happening. And then in June, we went to war. So
What was it, like 7 wars in 9 years or whatever. Like, it's been happening for a while, but people don't know about it.
I think we're going to go back to.
Why
Well-
did you have the intuition that that would happen?
I think
exactly is
that
it?
everything in Gaza was basically building toward that. If you read between the lines, it was clear that their ambitions were far greater
7 wars in 5 years. It's been around since about 2007.
behind all of
The
their,
last war is
their
Iran.
local adversaries. And so I just knew Israel was taking it there. I think they all went very pro-Trump. These guys like Bill Ackman, who was a lifelong Democrat, that signaled to me that they gave approval to him, and kind of the quid pro quo was he was going to deliver their war for them, what they wanted.
But I guess to push back a little on that, it was kind of a brief engagement and didn't turn into a forever war, right? So
We're not
Right.
at war.
Yes,
No?
I think we've been in a state of war.
we done.
Is
been
my
in
hot
war.
take. Yes.
Yeah.
And I know what you mean. You are technically right,
Because
but
that's
I,
what people say is that we deterred the war by bombing the
Peace
bunker.
through strength.
right.
Yes.
But I think that only, I think it made us get further invested into it.
Sure.
It made diplomacy impossible because the Iranians will not come back to the table with us. And I think to me, there's like a 10-year escalation ladder with Iran, and that was just the pinnacle up to this point. But I think we're going back. If I'm wrong about that, then I'm wrong. But I do think it's not over yet.
You're probably right.
But also, just to circle back, you forgot
If you want to know more about Iran, check out the channel. We covered it.
to answer my question about what you're reading on the left.
Oh.
Speaking of Gaza and Iran and all that stuff.
Well, my favorite, this is actually exclusive. I don't like to put people on to this because I like to gatekeep a little. My favorite left-wing blog is Naked Capitalism. Do you know them?
No, never heard of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
I'm putting you on. It's
I don't know any
Eves
left-wing blogs.
is her name. She's the main writer, and she is I don't know what you would describe her, but they're very about the ecology. They're very critical of neoliberalism, critical of war, and they've got a lot of really exceptional writers there. They talk a lot about peak oil. They talk about the New Monroe Doctrine. They talk about the Middle East. It's like they're really solid. That's my favorite thing.
And who do you like on the right? Because it seems like you don't like anybody and they don't like you.
You're right. Yeah, I like Alex Jones. I like Gavin McInnes. I like Sam Hyde.
I don't know Gavin McInnes.
I don't like any of the politicians, though, really.
Yeah. You don't see yourself voting probably in the next election again.
Well, it depends on if anybody runs that's interesting.
But
Anybody.
is there any like prospective candidate even?
Not in the back of my mind. It would have to be somebody that we don't know about.
Dark horse.
Who is
Right.
your favorite person in the Trump administration? And you can't say Trump.
If you had to pick.
If I had to pick, I would.
Ooh, if you had to pick, I might say Tulsi Gabbard. I might say her.
Kind of let me down.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who else. And I can't think of everyone.
I don't know. Hegseth is kind of funny, but I think it has to go to
Yeah.
RFK.
Nah. Yeah, okay. Actually, yeah, definitely RFK, but before Hegseth, I would say. For me, I'd leave
He's
it
just-
between RFK and Tulsi.
I like Tulsi, but she's been disappointing.
They've both been just kind of disappointing, but I like
Yeah,
him
well,
more than Pete. My boy
RFK,
Pete.
because the reason I didn't vote for RFK is because of his stance with Israel.
Yeah, but he is doing some good stuff. I think.
Not like he can do much else.
Yeah,
Say
he's doing as much as he can.
that's a good question, actually. Tom Homan is actually doing a good job. As much as I'm,
I forgot about that. The ice guy, Tom Homan. I thought it was Human, but whatever. He's doing good.
because
That's
he's
a good
pushing.
take.
You know, the people
Yeah.
that are holding them back, it's Susie Wiles. She is holding, but she
Susie Wiles is, I believe, the Project 2025 plant on Trump's cabinet.
shut down the workplace raids with ICE. And Stephen Miller, contrary to what everybody thinks, he's pushing really hard for H-2A visas for farmers. There was like a little deal when they did the big, beautiful bill where they said in order to let the farmers stay, we're going to give them visas, and Stephen Miller's behind that. So I don't even think he's doing a great job. I think it's
like
really
in the paint.
The
with
amnesty.
This,
What is Stephen Miller? I didn't know he had a position.
Farm workers.
yeah. Right.
Tom Homan I like because he always seems like really red-faced and drunk. But is actually, if you can get past the slurring of his speech, like pretty articulate and on the ball, and is right about everything, and is very good at shutting down.
Stephen Miller's not in the cabinet, but he does serve in 2 high-level positions for Trump's administration.
The maneuver, the tactic that the left loves, which is doing the empathy and compassion thing. And that's very important because that's like their number one like card that they love to play.
Right.
Who's your least favorite person in the Trump administration?
Vance. It's got to be Vance.
Damn.
He said.
I know you guys love him.
No,
we don't.
No, actually,
You're
that's
always
not true.
defending him.
Well,
Me?
no.
Yeah.
Dasha specifically
On my Twitter.
What did I
You've
say?
replied to my tweets caping for Vance. It's disgusting.
What did I say?
The glaze is mythical. I don't know. I said something really nasty about him, and you came in and you're like, no, he's good, actually.
What? Okay, but what's your beef with
Oh, don't get me
Charlie
started.
Kirk and JD Vance?
Well,
And is there like all the Israel stuff aside, and all the miscegenation stuff aside,
Putting aside the race mixing.
could there be, Nick? Honestly, could there be a narcissism of small difference?
Can you imagine getting fired from this interview? So far, it's like totally just such a casual conversation. It's so good.
I don't know about it
Differences.
being so good.
Well, yeah. Well, it's not like toxic. It's not like hateful or anything. That's what I mean. Like I can't believe
It's something.
it's something. Yeah.
In the sense that you're all nice hometown Midwestern boys, and they have like an institutional establishment come up, and you, I think, probably have always felt like misunderstood and like you're an outsider.
That's actually a really good question. And it's not that. It's that if he were sincere in his beliefs, I would probably think he's one of the better people in the GOP right now. But the problem is I think he's a fake. I think that
Who's he talking
he's
about?
an
Fuck.
artifice. I think that he was groomed into this position.
JD
And
Vance?
what I really
Oh, okay.
hate is that he
Yeah.
called Trump a Nazi. And it's
Back
like,
in the day when he was a never
Oh.
Trump voter.
yeah, and he
then
voted for Evan McMullin in 16. And it's like, if you don't have
That doesn't bother me because I did the same thing. Well, maybe I didn't call Trump a Nazi, but at that time I didn't like Trump either.
if you're not on the ball with that, it's like your intuition's wrong. So
But couldn't people say the same thing about you in the sense of like, you know, when we and you know,
I'm shocked.
well,
I'm shocked.
well, hold on, hear me out.
I'm teasing.
And it, like, I don't really care about like Mexican or a Fed. I don't care.
They mentioned that
You know,
video.
I'm shocked.
They had to double check
Well,
the
I'm shocked.
video.
Well,
No,
hold on, hear me out.
So their video, their camera footage might be broken, and so they're just putting different clips.
I'm teasing.
And
Okay.
and it,
Dude,
like,
it's,
I don't really care
feels like a
about
horror
like
movie.
people saying that you're like racist or sexist or an anti-Semite.
That's
I don't
crazy.
care if people call you like gay or Mexican or a Fed. I don't care that you've personally roasted me and called me a Jew, which, by the way,
That's a compliment.
I'm less Jewish
thought
than
she
you are
was.
Mexican.
I
thought
heard
she
you
was
say
Jewish.
that.
No,
yeah.
she looks Latino.
But-
Jewish is worse. So,
No, she looks Jewish.
Yeah,
Well, it's
No,
it is.
Kidding, kidding,
you know
kidding.
what, You're right about
It
that.
is true. You know, it's
What?
the Jews are just so much different than
Dude,
the
I
rest.
They
can't
are,
deal with
yeah.
this,
Well, I actually have a question.
audio.
I have a lot of questions, actually. I'm doing a great job, like, not reading off my phone. But when I told my friends and family that we were going to do this interview, a lot of them were, like, really excited, some of our girls, and a lot of them were not so happy with me and registered some misgivings and concerns. And people were like, oh, well, aren't you worried about, like, the reputational damage or the damage to your career? Which, like, I
Yeah, I
have
think
to
it's just
scoff
like
at
that.
because, like, what reputation and, like, what
Oh,
career?
so
And we've been
much.
pretty good.
I'm a big believer that, of course, politics is all about power. I'm a political person. I have
edit it
a
like
political
this.
agenda, and I want to become as influential as be even
I'm
suggesting
just
anything like
skipping to
that.
see if they
So it's
fix it.
little stuff like over the past like year and a half. that's just a function of money.
You-
Much to my
So
chagrin.
You don't like
Yeah,
it.
how do
No.
you feel about why? Like, what they're just like yelling at you for legacy, and the other one is independent. But
Is the whole fucking podcast like that?
Yeah, buddy.
No way.
I think
For
I'm.
running for
I
office.
said the same thing about myself. I'm like too lazy.
All right, I
and
need
too
to
laid
find,
out.
like,
It's
some
always fun, but you
background.
wouldn't rule out running for office.
I wouldn't rule it out, but I don't think it's in the cards.
I mean, I think
Your
there's
smiling
maybe
face.
in your life there's going to come a time where shit gets so real that you
You have to step
have no
in.
choice but to step in and do
Might
it
be
because no one
forced.
else will.
Mhm.
I think that goes for like everyone. I was
That's
thinking
very
about
true.
also, you've spoken about how you've made certain mistakes and have certain regrets, and I'm wondering if you could speak on those. Like, what were your biggest mistakes? What do you regret the most?
It's really just a lot of very careless remarks. I mean, when I started, I was 18. And when I started, my idea of what I was doing is that it
that's
doesn't
so
really
fucked
matter
up,
what you
no.
say very much because you're going to get canceled anyway.
Right.
And I was already canceled. So I said, how could it get any worse? Everyone already hates me. So I was just very flippant and very careless. And I said a lot of stuff that now I have to explain myself constantly. Especially anything having to do with violence, any gesture towards violence really bites you in the ass. I don't know if you can swear on here, but
Yes.
okay, I don't know what kind of
Oh,
show
you
it
just didn't
is, you know,
swear.
if it's a family show, but
So
that really. And I'm not in favor of violence, but you know how super careful you have to be, even suggesting anything like that. So it's little stuff like that, but for the most part. I do a talk show, so I don't have deep regrets. Like I never killed anybody, you know. Like
Yeah.
When
I
you're
mean-
young, you're 18. Yeah, you like are using rhetoric that
Right.
can be a little spicy.
Sometimes you really want
little
somebody to get
spicy.
punched or get pushed into a locker.
So basically, the video after about 20 minutes for this podcast is like fucked up. So I apologize, but there's not going to be good video for the rest of this. So if you're watching on audio, it's all good. Or if you're listening on audio, it's fine. But if you're watching the video, it's gonna look super shitty.
And for their own good, and you
Mhm.
register it, and it like comes back to bite you. Do you regret like burning through any relationships or connections?
Not particularly, because
regrets.
in most cases I get attacked first,
Okay.
and that sounds like childish to say, like, well, they started it, but it's true. I mean, in many cases that's how it goes down, and for the most part, no, I don't like most people in the space, so it's not really a lot of love lost when I burn a bridge.
Do you
Oh,
have?
is she fixing
I
it?
mean, a lot of
She
friends?
tried right there.
I do. I have a pretty small core group of friends, but not a lot of people in Chicago. I don't see people very often. I'm mostly by myself all the time.
Well, yeah, I was going to ask. Sometimes it seems like you allude to there being like a team around you,
Mhm.
or how often are you like streaming alone, and how big is your like team? This kind of audio visual
And who
question
sets this
too.
up for you?
Yeah. Well, it's I have a team of like 70 interns.
They need a good audio or audio video person.
What?
Wait, sorry, what?
70. Yeah.
70?
Mhm.
Why do you need 70 interns?
Down from like 100, but like we
Why?
Why?
Sorry,
For
what?
what?
Are
we
you,
do
like, running a sweatshop. Do you have merch?
We do have merch, yeah,
He sells
so-
hats.
Oh.
We do hats. We used to do like shirts and stuff, but I mean, we have people that are lawyers, accountants, people that do like business stuff, people
And
that
they're
do.
all interns?
They're all interns.
Do you pay them?
No, That's why- it's a great deal.
They
It's
do,
like-
yeah, I'd have 70 interns.
but you
too,
need
I
more
guess.
of them
But
because
how do
they
you
work
trust?
less.
How do you? Yeah. Oh, I see.
What?
So you get what you pay for. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, they
So
do
they're
a
not
great
like
job.
on
but
full time.
Right. They're all
but
part-time.
Why don't you pay them?
why don't I?
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't
I'm-
have a bank account. The
Well, I'm
Jews
going to
took
start
it.
paying them because I'm making more money
The
now,
Jews
so I
took
feel
it.
bad.
Yeah, you got to do it.
Oh,
You
But
gotta
for a
do it
long
your own
time, I
sake,
was
not
making
for-
no money. I was
Right, right.
Do you
basically.
still not have a bank account?
I have been able to get a checking account over the past like year and a half, but
Year and a half.
they chase me around. Like I get banned, I make a new one, I get banned.
That's crazy.
Mhm.
Because of the Israel stuff?
I think I'm on some kind of a list with like Visa, MasterCard. The thing,
that sucks.
yeah, because they don't tell you how, but
how do you like fly or stay in hotels or?
well, now I'm able to fly on planes and hotels, but for a year I wasn't. I was on the no-fly list.
So how did you get around?
He did
You
it.
stayed in your
you
weird
submit a form,
fortress in
actually.
Chicago.
What's that?
You stayed in your weird fortress in Chicago.
I just drove.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah, I just drove everywhere, which sucked.
Damn.
Yeah.
So a guy tried to kill you, came to your house with a crossbow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, do you like after what happened to Charlie Kirk? Do you
Of course.
fear for your life a little bit more?
Yeah, totally. Because there's just this culture. I'm sure you guys do as well. Ever since
my
Luigi,
husband was like, you can't make public appearances anymore.
Yeah,
stopped,
seriously.
I told you this. I stopped like reading the comments on our subreddit, on our Patreon, because people are just like so mean to me specifically.
Why? Why are they mean to you?
Probably because I'm less bubbly and jovial, and I look more Jewish and sinister.
Dark hair. blonde
yeah.
It's
hair.
the anti-Semites.
Yes, yes.
I hate them. I hate that about
And
Reddit.
It's a subliminal, yeah.
Yeah, and I say things like less ironically than Dasha. I seem more overinvested, whatever. But people were like, "Oh, Anna thinks she's gonna get like dragged out and
Yeah,
murdered
of
in the
course it
street,"
is.
which like I don't. It's not a fear that I have every day because I'm a pretty like marginal niche figure at the end of the day. But
You
I
call
remember when Zoran
Marginal
Mamdani
niche
like
figure.
won the primary, there were like leftists on Twitter being like,
We're going to put him
"Look,
in a
we're gonna put Anna and
gulag.
Dasha in a gulag. We're gonna murder them in the street." What are you talking about, you fucking freaks?
But you have security. You take
You have a
precaution.
detail.
I do, yes. I
And
do
you
now.
probably also wouldn't like make an appearance in front of a large crowd at this point.
Yeah, at this stage in the game, I'm very careful because, what happened with Charlie Kirk is they just weren't careful. You hate to say that because it sounds like victim blaming, but look, like Trump got shot from a rooftop.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie did this event in a pit where there's like rooftops that are accessible on foot. He didn't even need a ladder. So
Right. Yeah, but I think nobody could have seen that coming.
You just don't
because,
think.
yeah.
Yeah, well,
That's
that's
the
why
thing.
it's not careful.
And
Right.
Charlie Kirk was, I guess, technically you could say like a journalist, right? Donald Trump is a political figure. He's the president of the United States. Of course, people are going to try to kill him, and he's very controversial and divisive. But this guy, I think, really nobody saw it coming.
All right, I guess the
yeah, but
video's just like
they
that.
should have done
That
some
sucks.
precautions. They should have had people. It's easy to say that in the past tense, hindsight's 2020, but the real trick is you get as much security as you pay for, and that's just a function of money. You can never.
So you have security, but they're your interns, and you don't pay them.
the security I pay for.
That's
Is that we
you
want
get
to
what you
not
pay
have?
for.
Yeah, we take
Yeah.
that seriously.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, we had security at our Yarvin event,
yeah.
and that was like pretty small.
Our friends.
No, they had those guys. They were like,
yeah, they did. Yeah,
He had like a cauliflower ear, and he was like ushering me around. It
Yeah,
felt
and I
Oh,
was
hell
like,
yeah.
this is
That's how you
gay
know
and
he's
cringe.
good.
We don't need this. No, of course, it's the thing with that is that it is like stochastic terrorism because you can imagine that there is like a probabilistic likelihood of it happening, but it would be so random and arbitrary.
Right.
So, I don't know.
Did you see the Kanye West documentary?
I didn't know, not yet.
Was that boy around when you were hanging out with him?
I don't think so. I didn't see him.
You're not
So.
in it.
Are you
Yeah.
still friends with Kanye?
Yeah, I still talk to him.
Well, yeah, I wanted to ask you about Bianca Sensori.
Yeah.
She's also very conspicuously absent from the doc.
Mm.
And
Did you hear what Candace was saying today about Kanye, the Kardashians, how they all link back to these like same like Evangelion pastors, same as Turning Point Faith. It's like the same people. And the same people that put the conservatorship on Britney Spears, and the same people that have control over the music rights to Michael Jackson. It's like all the same.
Really, there's a group of people that have control over major Hollywood actors and assets.
Yep.
I would have never thought that.
Yeah, and they have links to Turning Point Faith
Hmm.
as well. Yeah, she's
And
going
all,
deep.
and all of which had Turning Point had millions of dollars from whom?
Yeah, I'm not saying it, but also allegedly, Courtney Love sent Candace Owens an email saying, "Hey, that whole Kurt Cobain suicide thing, yeah, that ties into it too."
Okay, sure. I doubt it.
So anyway, it's pretty juicy.
She's the one who killed him, right?
Well, that's what we were supposed to believe, but actually, it was same people that are donors to Charlie Kirk. That she's looking into it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Which
I don't
I'm
know
sure
if it's true or
was
not, but she's
her or
looking into
Kanye's
it.
initiative.
It was
Obviously,
spicy.
he had
I
a lot of
definitely
creative
want to do an
control.
episode on it.
But I mean, obviously, we're Catholics. We think he should stay
It's hard to
married
follow.
to Kim.
Yeah.
But do you think Bianca's?
So I don't
good
know
for-
these famous
good for him?
actress and
I don't know. It's hard to
actors.
say. I mean,
people.
he's really in love with her because she's an architect. She has an incredible body. Looks like Kim, obviously. So
Yeah.
that's his thing.
That's his thing.
She's down. I mean, she's down to get naked and do
Yeah.
whatever he wants her to do. But the thing is, I don't know that I want to weigh in on the personal details, but she seems to love him. She seems to take care of him. So I like that about her. But I don't know enough about the dynamics of the relationship to say. I agree. I think he should stay with Kim, but I think that ship has sailed now.
You
Yeah.
met a
Well-
friend of ours when you were hanging
Oh,
with
yeah.
Kanye.
Who?
You discussed her.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
I did.
That's so
Paige
funny.
Shin, the photographer.
Yes.
Yeah. And
You
I
said
think
she
you
was
called her
total-
a MILF?
You said she were totally mommy.
A MILF's a compliment.
Did I say that?
Yeah.
And that she could bust it down.
Well, that is true.
That's a compliment.
Because she had like a
beautiful-
German accent,
Yes,
right?
she's German,
But she's
yeah.
Asian,
You
which
called
is
her like a
crazy.
Japanese shorty or something. She's actually like Korean and German.
Oh.
But yeah, she is
but
from Germany.
She does have like like the dominatrix accent. tattoo it. Yeah, she like shot us for some magazine once, and it was a really fun and interesting experience, but brutal and grueling because she really like
She's,
runs a tight ship. Yeah.
It's the German efficiency,
Yes, yeah, and the Asian lack of sentimentalism.
I could see that, yeah. She was nice, yeah. I remember her.
Yeah.
We love her so
Mhm,
much.
she's cool.
She's gonna be so pissed off that we
No.
mentioned her because
Oh, yeah.
not because of you, but because
They're
she's such a
starting
like
drama.
discreet private person.
You don't like
yeah.
it.
How do
No.
you feel about? Why not?
I feel,
Your female fan base seems to be growing.
yeah, much
Based
to my
on-
chagrin.
You don't like
yeah.
it.
How do
No.
you feel about? Why not?
I feel like the show is just not really for women. My show's for men. And I feel like I have to act differently when women are watching it, because the show's very...
Why?
Because I swear a lot and I'm very intense and angry and...
Yeah,
the
but women.
humor-
love
That's the
women
whole thing.
respond
Women
well
like
to
that
that.
about you. Women are drawn like moths to flame to vulgar displays of power, so they like when men like swear and cuss and say racist and sexist things. Even the libtard
Yeah, say
ones.
racist shit. Girls love
By
that.
the way,
Especially
yeah,
probably the
yeah.
libtard ones.
Yeah, they do.
Oh hell
Yes,
yeah.
I don't know. And I also think that when women pay attention to you, they have a weird way of like making your world revolve around them.
They sure
Like-
do.
You know what I mean? Like,
I think it's a sign that he's becoming more mainstream when he starts
I
getting
thought
that woman audience.
I thought it's because he was gay.
Well, that's the thing. Are they really women or are they just trans people, like male to female?
women that I barely even know, and I'm not talking about anybody in particular, but they just start causing problems. They just start causing drama, and it's like,
Start causing
So-
problems. He's so funny.
yeah, so I just try to avoid women as much as possible.
So why on earth are you doing this podcast?
Because you guys have a show, so. But you seem cool. You guys seem like
They have
cool
an audio
women.
show, not a video
Yeah,
show.
you're political.
We're not like
We're
the other.
You're not like the rest of them, yeah.
No, all women are kind of basically the same.
The same, yeah. I agree.
And you're smart.
No,
We're not going to do the
he's-
Candace Owens things. I'm asking you why you don't
Well,
have a
Nick
girl.
Fuentes.
yeah, that's one thing that
Like,
really
it's
actually
fine
grinds.
to do a show with other like women streamers and podcasters and stuff, But if you're like a guy and you're like into a hardcore niche, and like unless it's like someone who's already established or like the same thing, most of the time it's probably going to end up in some drama or something, and they're going to get all the clickbait and stuff. That's what I've seen a lot happening a lot in like online circles. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, and I will say, if you're Nick Fuentes and you've been building this like movement for like, I don't know, almost 10 years, and it's been like majority men, and he's finally starting to see like mainstream appeal and get these women, for him it's gotta be like, what are you doing here? Like, it's pretty funny.
My gears whenever you're like interviewed with a woman or come into contact with a woman on Twitter. They're like, oh well, you're such a nice Catholic boy who's a role model for the community. Why haven't you settled down? Why aren't you married? And actually, in spite of all of my suspicions, misgivings about you or whatever, the one thing that I do find very relatable about you is that
he hates women.
that you hate women, that you hate women and Jews. But
Is that why Dasha got fired for that comment that her other host said?
What did she say specifically?
The co-host said she hates Jews and women too, so she could totally relate to Nick Fuentes.
I thought he said an adjective, or she said an adjective before she said Jews.
She might have, but that could be why the other actress got fired, the Succession girl on the left.
no, it's just
Because
that
so far they haven't done
you always
anything
say
that
like,
could be
I'm
considered even
malcontent,
controversial.
I'm disagreeable. I don't get along with anybody. I think you said that you were a frivolous person who wishes that you could be more mature and responsible. But basically that like you don't want to be like a role model for anyone. I had a question about this that I'm going to pull up because I forgot where I was going with this.
Well, I was going to ask, just hypothetically, if you were to have a girlfriend or wife, what ideally race or ethnicity would she be?
He said
Oh,
it,
definitely
white.
white. Yeah,
Of course, white.
Italian.
What kind of white?
like someone from my neck of the woods, like someone Midwestern from Chicago, same kind of sensibility.
Italian,
yeah, down to
Midwestern,
earth, like
Chicago,
that
Italian.
kind of. But I'm open-minded.
You don't have
Those
a
are the
blonde
good
brunette
ones.
preference.
probably brunette.
How many
No
Italians are
offense.
there in
But
If you're into
Chicago?
that sort of
No.
thing. Blonde is fine, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's all okay.
Well, she's not a natural blonde.
You're not?
I mean,
You dye your hair blonde?
Yeah, I have
Why?
highlights.
Yeah.
What do you mean why? To be
I
more
think that's
blonde.
so basic. Isn't that so
no,
basic?
it really. I was thinking about this. It really suits you.
I think if I had
That's
my
true.
natural hair color, it would get it'd be a pretty light brown.
Hmm.
It'd be blonde.
Yes, yeah,
colored,
yeah,
that
yeah,
kind
of
of
course,
long
yeah.
Doing this
hair.
interview.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you
What are
mean.
you talking about? He's obviously gay.
But yeah, I think you talked about
Right.
before. This is my question.
I don't know
Falling
about
short of
that.
your own ideal.
After watching
many
this, he
times.
doesn't seem gay at all.
And I'm wondering, like,
They're just looping the same 100 pictures. It just keeps looping. Like the camera got fucked up or something.
do you
Well,
still
to be fair,
struggle
that's
with
all
yourself as a
videos
person?
Are
And
pictures go to
if you do, what do you struggle with? the
Yeah,
most?
I mean that's
I
true.
do. I struggle a lot, and
And I think a lot of people listen to these
I really do
podcast
hate,
live streams on
most
YouTube
people.
Music
I just
without
can't
the
get
video
along
anyway.
with people. I don't know if you guys can relate to that, but I just have such a low social battery. I hate phone calls. I
Me
hate
too.
meeting
Why do you
I
people.
think
love
that
phone
is?
calls, bro.
I don't know.
I
I
hate 'em,
just
bro.
I think most people are
Phone
just
calls.
not that interesting, and
Dude,
you
don't
don't feel
text
like you're
me,
really
bro.
talking
Call
to
me.
them.
Tell me
like
what
I
we're
feel like
doing.
most people don't
Let's
really
figure it
see
out.
you.
Yeah.
Quick and easy.
And like
Just
me, I
text
feel like
me
there's
and
a
I'll get back
person
to you in
behind
a
my
couple
eyes.
days.
You know what I mean?
No,
And I feel like
that's-
most people, it's
that's
like
the
you're talking to a
problem.
robot. Like you get kind of a blank expression, and people like to monologue. They talk about themselves, which is
Yes.
ironic because I'm me, but
Yeah.
which is what I do
Yeah.
for a living by myself. But so I have difficulty connecting with most people.
Do you? Well, Have you ever tried like faking it till you make it and
I do.
and asking them questions?
He's like, "What do you
feigning
think I'm
interest,
doing?"
That sort of thing.
That's what I do my whole life, and I
Yeah.
hate that. I hate the feeling of
and
being
you feel like
insincere.
you can never break through.
Yes.
And you've
Because
always
they're still,
been that
like-
way, or there was
always.
there- Well, I imagine being like,
Yo, did you hear that Trump
Yeah.
got rid of his endorsement
Doesn't help.
of MTG? He's gonna support someone else to try and primary her.
That's spicy.
Yeah,
Mention that she's mentioning them laser beams too much.
yeah, dude. The direct energy weapons, the cloud seeding, and the Epstein files. She wants that shit released.
Yeah, that'll do it.
That'll do it.
I mean, all of which are real.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Space lasers. I don't know if space lasers exist, but
Well,
laser
the
technology.
direct
exists.
energy weapons do exist. It's
Yeah,
funded in
direct
the
energy
big beautiful
weapons.
bill.
Cloud seeding, geoengineering exists.
Cloud seeding is an interesting one. I need to look into it more.
Yeah, geoengineering is real.
Yeah,
Is real.
there was some dude on Tucker Carlson's podcast that was like, "Don't call it." He was very specific about it, and he explained it really well.
Don't call
But-
it weather modification.
No, like crop. What was it? Crop dusting or something.
Well,
Yeah,
and
don't
so-
call it chemtrails. Call it like
Yeah.
weather modification, or else they won't
Yeah,
take you
well-
seriously.
Well, chemtrail. The concept of chemtrails as a conspiracy theory has been around for so long.
Yeah, and he said specifically, if you're trying to talk about it, don't call it chemtrails, because for some reason, chemtrails is defined in a weird way where they can discredit you, basically.
It's cloud seeding, but in layman's terms.
Sense of disagreement.
Yeah,
or
dude, he was saying, like,
conflict.
Yeah, that's
All
definitely
the
a part
water
of it.
vapor
I would
coming
say
out of
that
these jet engines
a
have
lot of
a
people
high
I've
level of
fallen out with,
aluminum, and
like,
aluminum
I
is
hated
reflective,
them
so he thinks
as
they're
people.
doing it to like
Mhm.
block sun
And,
rays to help global warming. But
and I
what's happening
kept
is
up kind
it
of the
gets into your
interaction just for the
lungs,
sake
and
of
it's
it was
bad
a
for
useful
you.
alliance, you know, it was mutually beneficial,
Yes.
or are you just being
Yeah.
friendly as the default? And I don't know how much of the falling out is driven by like suppressed resentment. You know, like you hate this person, you're pretending to like them, you hate that you have to pretend to like them.
Yeah.
Eventually you pick fights with that person.
When
But sometimes there's legitimate beef.
dresses
So
like-
I think that plays into it for sure.
Doesn't have a
Yeah, I mean,
girlfriend.
yeah, that's also very
What are
relatable
those
because when you're in a
Kohl's
situation
jeans?
where you're forced to like
I like his jeans actually.
He's wearing mom jeans, bro.
Yeah, I think they're kind of the style nowadays.
Yeah, for women, or I guess gay men.
You got him.
socialize or work with somebody that you secretly resent.
And I wish the
because you
video
find
wasn't
them
fucked
like,
up. This would be a
I don't
good
know,
podcast.
like cowardly or untrustworthy, and then you have to suppress
Think
Yeah.
of
it.
watching
right
this
here.
girl.
Oh my
come
God,
up
don't
to the
say that.
camera
I
and
actually-
look at it.
I actually love
he's like,
her
I'm the
so
only
much
person
because-
you work with.
No, I mean like,
Yeah,
I
he
mean like
keeps
when we have to do
replaying
like
the
No,
same
I know.
events and
photos.
stuff, or like when we have to like host like
Yeah.
something, or you know, do some
Do
collab,
anything,
do
yeah.
anything. You probably actually know which people I'm referring
course,
to,
yeah.
and I mean I think that's why we've had such a long run, because we fundamentally see eye to eye and get along. But yeah, you have this feeling where you want to say something but you can't because you don't want to be social inconvenient, but like keeping it bottled up inside
Mm-hmm.
makes you feel like aberrant and irritable, like a bull in a china shop, and you just want to like tear the whole thing down.
Yes. Yeah. That's in a nutshell what it is. But it's just hard. I don't like socializing that much. You know, I'm kind of a. I also don't like being observed. You know what I mean? Like, because when you're
That's crazy.
Psychotic, because that's what you do
perceived.
for a living.
yeah, but you know
get
what I mean?
watched.
Like
he gets
Yeah.
observed
when
every
you're
day
doing
when he
a
does
show,
live
it's like
stream.
you're being. It's a performance.
You have control.
Yeah, but when
yeah,
you're
yeah.
with people, it's like you can't like pick your nose. You can't like be on your phone. You can't.
That's
You know what I
fair.
mean? Like you don't
Yeah,
have total
I get
freedom
that.
of movement. I hate that feeling of like someone's always in the corner of your eye. You got to kind of
You
like get
can't-
consensus. What's the plan? What are we doing? Am
can't
I
take
entertaining
order.
you?
It's
I
like that
hate
they
that.
don't know
It's-
I meme with people.
Yeah, you can't turn your webcam off if you're being interviewed by someone else. Or just cut it in the video or something.
Yeah. They don't know I hate them.
Fuck. I
So
had a
that's what you
follow-up.
struggle with mostly is
Big
like,
time, yeah.
malcontentment.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's a struggle.
Do you? I'm gonna
Listening
get
to
skewered for asking you this question. 'Cause
Oh,
people are gonna
let's
like she's
go.
glazing him. But you're a Leo?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Do you know your other
No.
stuff? Can we find out after the?
Sure,
podcast?
yeah.
Is
You
that
guys
what
are into
I'm not
that?
gonna- Yeah. I'm just curious because, yeah,
No woman's ever
You guys are into that? No, it's because they're girls. That's why they're into it. The star
asked you what time you
signs.
were born.
No. Well,
Damn.
men have. not like that, but no. I know some
Pause.
people that are real, like Zerka. John Zerka's really into that, and some of his fans are always asking me what my sign is and all that. You guys are into astrology, of course.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
Of course.
sort of. I
It's
mean,
like
yeah, you
baseball
can-
for women,
yeah.
where it's like it gives.
It's like
there's like a
baseball
frame
for
of
women. That's a
reference.
good
You can
take.
talk. It's a good way to like talk to someone.
Yes, a great icebreaker. Good if
Mhm.
you like pattern matching.
Hmm.
I think that because astrology is so like low status and like woman coded, no one ever gives it any credit. But there must be some.
It's because it's a pseudoscience. It's not a real science. If you want to study planets, you need to study astronomy. Astrology is like it's not like real science, no offense to the ladies.
Scientific value in the fact that the season you're born in, the alignment of the planets, must exert some influence on
It
not
must.
only you but your cohort
Hmm.
in terms
Uh-huh.
of like personality and character formation, like for sure.
I don't know. I'm more
I don't
Sure.
For sure it
And
must.
I think it's
I
all
don't know
good
about
fun.
that.
And I do feel
Yeah.
like a Pisces,
Yeah.
but
Just like
And
Just
you can
like
always, you can
how you
always,
were
like,
conceived, like if your parents
confirmation
were doing it
bias
doggy
stuff in
style,
hindsight and be like,
then,
oh, all Leos are like
you'll
this and all
be
Pisces
If
are
your
like this.
parents
But
are
like,
doing
yeah,
it.
it does
It
tend
must,
to
yeah.
add
It
up
must.
It must, yeah.
in my
And
experience.
that affects your
Yeah.
partner in
I
life
agree.
also.
I-
For
when you
sure.
say that
It must,
the-
absolutely.
The planetary bodies have to exert influence on us. That's the part I sort of agree with.
Right? Like, why wouldn't they?
They
Why
affect
wouldn't
the
they? Of
ocean,
course.
but they don't affect
right.
Yeah,
people.
and for all of the kind of like
Oh
for
my
all
God,
of
he's
the
playing into it.
neuroses and anxieties that we have about ourselves, like we get all in our heads and stuff like that. Ultimately, at the end of the day, like you are a barnyard animal who is like at the mercy of like hormones and chemistry and
No.
like not even like social, but like biological incompatibilities and resentment.
For this like rich girl to compare herself to a barnyard animal, like what is she saying about normal people?
Well, in my opinion, right here, she is kind of proving Nick Fuentes' point as to some of his rhetoric
About why
women.
women shouldn't be in the conversation. He's being
true.
nice to them. He's being so
I've-
nice.
I'm gonna start.
But I guess he did make that point, like, the moon affects the oceans, but it doesn't affect people's lives. Like, maybe there is something to that. I don't know, though. I don't think it...
Yeah,
it-
man, whenever there's a full moon, I find myself having a solid 3 bowel movements a day.
Dude, it is true, like, on the full moons, that's when the crazies come out. Like, my mom's a nurse, and she says, like, there's more ER visits on full moons. It's just a thing.
I'm joking, but yes,
Well,
I understand.
Yeah, like, there is something to it. I just don't think, like, astrology is, like, a real science. I don't go that far.
Circle back
Mm-hmm.
to you've been fond of saying the medium is the message, and I want to ask you, we are of a different generation than you, but streaming
older
as
than
a
him?
medium,
It must be
obviously
older.
very big with
I can't
Zoomers.
tell.
I feel like people
Yeah, they look the
actually
same
don't
age.
even
I think Nick
understand like
Fuentes
how
is young.
many young
Yeah, he's 27. So
He's 27, are you
yeah,
sure?
yeah, that's what they said. So they must be in their 30s, like mid 30s.
people just watch streamers like 8 hours
No,
a
he is
day.
27. Holy shit.
Yeah, so he is young.
Why did you start? So yeah, what are your thoughts? Like,
So
why
they
did you
must be,
start
like,
streaming?
37,
Are there any
35?
streamers that you are fond?
No,
or
I
have
mean,
attachment to, or
not really.
both look
the
It's
same
funny
age
because
as them.
some
Honestly,
people my age were like
the girl on the
really
left
big into
looks like she's
YouTube.
probably,
Like they were 12 years old and got a
29.
camera and were like,
Dude, you could have told me like 25, I would have believed it. The other girl, maybe like 30 at the oldest. Like,
looks like she's had work done or something.
I don't know.
I would definitely say 32 for her.
32.
But the girl on the left, I would I mean, like in the wild, I would say like 19, just looking like that.
Right. Yeah. No, for real. Yeah, I can't. It's so hard with a woman.
that was their passion. It never
But Nick
was
Fuentes,
for me.
you
I
could
was
definitely
really into like
tell
public
he's in his 20s, like for sure.
speaking and politics. And then I just started a TV show in high school,
Looks like
and it was
he's
uploaded
22.
because my high school
Yeah,
had like
he
a
does.
TV station. And then when I was in college, I just thought it'd be fun because I got into it through my friend Cassie Dillon. She was my friend at the time.
She was my
And
friend
she
at
said,
the
"Well,
time.
I have this YouTube show.
He
You should
hates
get a
on
YouTube
Cassie.
show." And
Time.
I was like, "Yeah, like I'll." And I didn't like it at first. I actually hated it, but it
that
turned
was
into
a pre-recorded show, not
no, it was live.
Okay.
At that point, it was live, and it just was the perfect fit because I'm an extemporaneous speaker and I like the interaction, and so I just fell in love with it. You know, I got hooked. I hate when people say shit like that. Like I got hooked, but I did. I loved it. But I don't watch stream. I hate other live streamers because
Yeah.
it's so vapid. Most of it, it's like
Well,
all
it's
the
Hassan Piker.
yeah,
Or
and
worse.
he's one of the smarter
Aiden
ones.
Ross.
Sadly,
What do you think of Aiden Ross?
I like Aiden. He's funny.
Okay.
I don't know.
But
Aiden
like,
Ross.
Are you at all familiar with Aiden Ross? I'm not
No,
because
not
I'm
really.
an elder millennial, so this is like way over my head.
Elder millennial. So
I have
yeah,
no
she's in her
idea.
30s.
But what do you think it is about streaming as a
Probably like
medium that is
35
so
then, 38.
popular?
Yeah, she could
Because
be.
it's parasocial. I know that's what everyone says, but the way that I would explain it, because I think about this a lot, it's sort of like when I was younger, I
What's the
would
name of this
listen to the
podcast?
radio in the car, even when we
The podcast is called The Red Scare. The Red Scare podcast.
had the aux cord, because when the radio was on, it didn't feel like you were alone. It felt like there's a broadcast, someone is in the booth recording. When you listen to your iPod, it's like I'm alone in my car.
Kachikian. Is she
It's-
Armenian?
I think I don't know if it's Dasha or Dasha
Yeah, I'm talking about-
Dasha Nekrasova. The other girl is I think she's like
she's Russian.
I thought she said she was Latina.
Well, she was born in Russia.
Russia. Oh, she does look kind of Russian. Maybe she's Russian. I thought she said she was German, Latina, or something.
She is Armenian. Yeah, that's what I figured. She's Armenian, Russian, and Jewish. Yeah, she's
On the right?
The girl on the right. Yeah, she's Armenian, and her one of her parents is probably a Russian Jew. But I knew because of the Kachikian. Oh no, her dad would be Armenian if it's Kachikian.
How old is she?
Oh yeah, that's what I actually came out here. 40. Oh, she's 40, 85. Damn.
Crazy.
With my phone. When it's radio, it's like I'm in the
She
city.
looks great.
And a live stream's the same way. It's like someone's there with you. Everyone's there with you in the
Armenian.
live
Of
chat.
course she
Streamers
does.
there in real life. And it's like a comforting feeling. It's like a weird sensation.
When
Well,
you're
that's how
listening
I
to the
Got
sorry,
into
go
America first.
when you're like listening to the radio or like a stream or something, you can disappear and dissolve. Whereas when you're listening to your music on aux, you're like the main character in the movie about your life, and you're driving down the street and like feeling all like profound and thoughtful. I think that's partly what it does, I guess, replace socialization also.
Yeah, for sure.
But like, okay, so people like, first of all, how long do you stream?
Like
in
2 hours
day?
a night.
Okay, but some people stream like all the time, which
Right.
is sickening.
It is, yeah.
Because
It's
like, what
gross.
happens if you have to like, I don't know, like take a shit or like run an errand
Or do anything,
or do
yeah.
anything.
They do it. I mean, Hassan talked about it in that interview. He says, I take like 2-minute bathroom breaks and my chat times it, and I do it at the same time
How
every
long
day.
does he stream?
He streams
all
like 8
day?
hours a day. 7 days a week. Who could do that? I would
But
kill
that's,
myself.
That's so maladjusted. Like, you have no life.
You have to give him credit, though, because that requires mental fortitude to do that and not, like, blow your head off.
I mean, even what you do, I'm like,
Well,
we try and do a show a week.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait,
5
how
nights
does,
is...
No, hold on. How does it require mental fortitude?
Because you're always on, and it's like... It's not like when you're just hanging out or even some of these other streamers. When I'm doing a show, there can be no dead air.
Right.
You always have to be pointing in a direction. So the mental faculties that it takes to just keep it going, and even like the physicality of it, always be like making expressions and making gestures. When I'm done, I'm like, I don't want to make an expression. I don't want to look at anybody. I don't want to talk. I just want to...
Well, have you ever considered that Hassan is just profoundly retarded?
Yes.
And, like, doesn't have anything going on up there?
There's nothing.
And there's your mental fortitude. He's like literally like a zoo animal, like behind a cage. He's gonna be mad at me.
Do you know him?
No,
Oh.
no, but he doesn't.
He's not
I think
fond of us.
He's not fond of us for obvious reasons.
Mm-hmm.
He's also Turkish, and my dad's Armenian, so we were mortal
eternal
enemies.
Told you her
battle,
dad
yeah.
was Armenian.
Yeah, but
I don't like the Turks so much. I'll on your behalf.
They're okay. They're actually.
I'm a big Armenian genocide truther.
Based.
Yeah, I know. Like, I actually
There's two
don't
things I
really
can't
watch
stand in this world:
streamers at
people
all
who
because
are
it
intolerant
takes
of other
mental
people's
fortitude to do
cultures.
that.
and the Turks.
Oh my god. Every time on Twitter I hear someone talking about the Young Turks podcast, I'm like, you ever Google what the Young Turks like is from? Like, you ever Google where that name came from, bro?
Yes.
It's a genocide.
I didn't have to Google about it. I didn't have to Google it. I heard it all from my grandfather.
My grandpapa.
Grandpapa.
Like, I don't know how like young people.
But yeah, it's crazy how they got away
getting,
with that
like,
name and no
getting
one called
that
them out on
sound,
it.
like lock in.
Well,
to-
they're not. They're dissociated, or
Yeah.
at least, yeah. I mean, sometimes you
It's
tune in and
literally
out.
the equivalent
It
of
is, it's
having like
it's
the
more
Nazi Party
ambient.
podcast.
But I think,
because
like-
it's more durational and like.
and everyone is
constant.
just okay.
Yeah,
with it.
yeah. But I
Yeah.
think like a lot of people, for example, experience you mainly through like viral YouTube, Twitter.
Well, once they got the boot off
whatever
his neck,
TikTok clips, yeah.
there
You
was
know
no
the lingo,
stop.
yeah. The generational run broke free.
But I did notice I was trying to like kind of analyze like what makes you effective, not only as like a public speaker but as like a comedian, because I think part of the appeal is that you're very like talented and funny and good at what you do. Not to glaze you too much, but I noticed that you have to be very repetitious. Your bits, you just
Yes.
repeat yourself over again and
Yeah.
have like very kind of emphatic hand gestures and facial expressions, and that's like half the battle.
It is. It's like peekaboo. Because
Yeah.
people are, it's literally like babies. And they love the funny expressions, you know, when you're like, what? When you make faces, they like that. They're like, I like this,
Because they're so like dopamine dysregulated too, so they need like constant
Yeah.
stimuli.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah, the
Kind of
repetition's
scary,
like,
yeah.
that's a huge part.
Yeah,
it's like
you
neurolinguistic
do have to
programming.
repeat
It's
yourself a
creepy,
lot
like,
because
Yeah.
and I
maybe
do
the
that naturally 'cause
person
I'm a little autistic.
wasn't in your stream an hour
I
ago
don't
when
think
you already
you're
said
autistic.
something, or they
But I'm
weren't in your
autistic in
stream
the
a
way
week
that,
ago
like,
when you said that point.
if
you
you
gotta
watch
repeat
a show,
yourself
I'll
a lot.
like say the same story on every
Yeah.
show
I
and
can
kind
do
of like
live
retread the
streams,
same
but, like,
narrative
Yeah.
over and over. Because
My
people
issue
are like
is,
retarded. It's like if you don't say something 10
hate doing
times, it's
that.
like you didn't say it
It's
at all.
just-
You know what I mean?
Yeah, one of my favorite
Continuity.
gay
You
raconteurs
got to,
had this
though,
line,
'cause,
Quentin
like,
Crisp. It
if
was
you
like,
said
you
it
don't
once
repeat yourself
before-
loudly and often, you'll never
Still,
make a
like,
mark, and
yeah.
it's true.
Most people might
100%.
not have heard it
You
if
really
you
do
only
have
said
to
it like
speak
one
to
time.
people like
Like say you said it
babies.
on one video that has like 1,000
yeah, I don't think
views.
you're autistic. I
You-
just
you got to get the word out. You got to
think
say it a couple
that,
times so
you're
people
a
hear
little
about it.
dark-sided and very psychologically capable and astute, and that alienates you from other people.
Yeah, I think that's true.
What happened with Groyper War II?
This is hard to
well, it
watch.
fell apart. I mean, I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. Kind
It was,
of,
Not to attack
kind of
you.
like.
No,
you know,
you're right. It was
What happened?
well, what happened is
She's
I
a
didn't
woman
finish
after
it.
my
No,
heart.
but we
Yeah,
I didn't
she does
finish.
have the good
Well,
questions.
the
Like she's
problem
totally
is
leading
we
the
thought,
interview.
well, I thought
They showed the
that
girl that got fired is
like
not,
there'd be one
it-
swing
She's
state
just there for
that
the
would be like
ride.
the fulcrum of the whole thing, and if we could just scare the campaign,
That was the purpose
right?
of
Probably
World
just
War
a
II, was to
warning
push Trump rightward.
to not
Yes,
platform
and the
Nick
idea was
Fuentes.
like,
That's exactly
you know,
what it
because
was.
at
He's
that time I
toxic,
wasn't
he's
huge.
cancer.
I wasn't even
Don't
big.
touch
I
him or
was
you'll lose your
kind of
job.
not a big deal at that
Too,
point. Not that
'cause he
I'm a big
sounds
deal
too
now, but
reasonable.
Like around
like
the
August
election.
last year.
It's because he can't be
I have no idea
controlled.
what
You don't want to get
we're
a taste of that. That's dangerous.
Sorry, you guys.
That's my issue.
Well,
is that it seems like
it was sort of like it was after the
all
conventions
the
during the
left-wing,
election.
liberal-leaning
We wanted Trump
rhetoric
to take
is
stronger
all
positions
corporate
on
approved.
immigration, foreign policy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And so I said, we're gonna like publicly
And it's
withhold
like
the
no one
vote
like I hate sanitization
unless he does these
of the
things.
internet.
And I knew we couldn't make a splash like
Back
nationally
in
because
my
we're not big
day.
enough to do that. But I thought if we could get like 10,000 people,
Back in my day, this podcast was not controversial.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, people on Twitter are screaming like woke is back. Like people are getting canceled again for like having opinions. After this podcast came out and this girl got fired.
in one state to say they wouldn't do that.
Mm.
And if it was close, that might be
You can
enough.
always
But
ask
I think after
questions
Kamala became the nominee and the brat
the
thing
things
fell
that they
apart,
tell
it
you
was like Trump was
that
going to
you
win in a
can't
landslide.
watch
So
or
I said,
shouldn't
forget it.
see.
That's why this is important. Like this podcast is so hard to watch with the video all fucked up, but this is the kind of podcast that like it moves the needle, like politically and like culturally.
Some could say it's a pipeline.
Yeah, it's a pipeline that we're following. I mean, this girl touched Nick Fuentes. She hosted him, and so far, nothing crazy has been said.
Very tame.
And
Very tame.
you got to think about it too. Like you have like the freedom of speech in the United States. Like they could go ball out and say whatever they want. She might get fired over it, yes, but for what she's been saying so far, like for her to get fired is kind of ridiculous. It's because people labeled Nick Fuentes as a racist, white nationalist, Nazi, and you can't platform him or else you'll get fired. You'll lose your job. Just like he got debanked and put on a no-fly list. Like this shit is crazy.
What was Great War One?
Charlie Kirk.
Bro, holy.
I don't know. I'm old. I just turned.
Anna.
Who invited her?
No.
I remember the first time I ran afoul of you, I tweeted something like, "I don't know who the fuck Nick Fuentes is, and why do I have to hear about it?" And you got mad at me, and I really legitimately, like, it wasn't anything
I
personal.
thought you were pretending. I thought you were like,
no, dude,
he's not famous enough to know.
No, I literally didn't know who you were, and I'm also again a very judgmental and skeptical person. So when people bandwagon on somebody, that makes me not want to fuck with them.
Yeah, I get that.
Contrarian.
Yeah, it's not contrarianism.
It
just
is.
Makes me, no, because I think this gives me like no pleasure to say, but I think that people, when they bandwagon on stuff, it's like social contagion, and most of them don't know what they're doing. And sometimes the bandwagon effect is good, positive, and most of the time it's like bad and negative. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
So I'm very skeptical about anybody who is like has a lot of like fanfare around them.
Totally. Yeah, I know what you mean. Like too much hype.
Yes. Yeah.
And I it's like Rick and Morty, you know, like when there's a toxic fan base at something that's super new.
Well,
and
yeah. Do you feel hindered at all by the gripers as a fan base? I know you're not fond of some of your super chatter.
some of the a little overzealous, but
like when you say you regret like kind of rhetoric you used when you were younger, do you have feelings about your fan base?
That's always the question I get is like, because the Groypers are super intense and frenzied and they attack everybody. But I think that's actually a good thing. The reason people don't like it that are in commentary is because they know that's like an accountability thing almost. Like they know that if they don't like me, they're going to have to deal with getting attacked. And they're kind of annoyed by that. So it's like anything in any power dynamic. You kind of moralize or rationalize your interest. They hate that there's like an army that's going to attack them if they don't like me and support them if they like me. And it kind of forces them to interact with me in a certain way. And so they tell me, you know, it's these groypers. They'll attack me for anything. It's like, good. Like they're kind of keeping you in check, you know?
They're so
I will say the gropers, they can go a little bit overboard. So some of them will have in their in their profile, like, it's an acronym, like I will rape and kill for Nick Fuentes. They put that as an acronym, like IW
What the fuck?
R and K for N. Yeah, like they'll put that acronym in there, and it means I will rape and kill for Nick Fuentes. And I will say, like, you got your freedom of speech, but you can't expect people to take you seriously when you put that kind of crazy shit in your like profile. So some of his fans, his groypers, do have extreme opinions just like him. So I mean, he kind of asked for it. But yeah, I don't really like that. Like I would never put that in like my Twitter profile.
that they're so annoying and they're such a nuisance. You log on to Twitter.
Yes,
I don't think they're annoying though. They're funny as fuck.
Their tactic.
Yeah. Like, what? They're just like yelling at you for being Jewish. And come on, man.
That's a frenzy. It's a swarm.
Yeah, it feels that way. And groyper were.
And he's talked about that too. He's like, I want this movement to be like, if you fuck up, if you aren't America first, like you feel something, like you actually, like you will get attacked, at least like on social media. Like if you fuck up, do the wrong thing, you're going to hear about it. There's going to be at least some repercussions. So I totally get that stance on it. There's like some accountability.
One was Turning Point USA.
Oh, right.
That's when they went and showed up and, you know. Oh, so I have kind of a conspiratorial question.
Oh, hell yeah. Let's go.
Obviously, after Kirk's death, they tried to say that it was a groyper. And not long prior to his death, it seemed like there was a lot of press about, you got the profile in the New York Times. Before that, they wrote another thing about like the toxic online right that was like basically all about groypers. It felt almost like they were like priming people to have the vocabulary of even knowing what a groyper is.
Wow.
Or like knowing enough.
That's a really good question. I think she's right about that.
I mean, so many normies that like aren't about this life would be like, I heard a groyper did it. And I'd be like, there's a different frog. You have no idea what you're talking about. And but do you think there's any credence to that? Because that's where my mind went. I was like,
Yeah, so there was a day, 24 hours before Charlie Kirk got assassinated, the New York Times released an article that said Nick J. Fuentes, a white nationalist problem for the right. And the very next day, Charlie Kirk got assassinated. And then a couple days later, there was some kind of online social media campaign that was trying to blame a groyper for the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And that's what she's talking about here. She's saying, is there any credence to that? Is that a real conspiracy? That's a really, really good question.
you know?
Yeah, well, and a lot of people said it the other way, which is like they were setting me up to take his spot, like that I was the successor, the like elevated successor. I think it was just a coincidence. I do believe that after he died, there was a push. There was like a top-down coordinated push to frame me because it appeared spontaneous.
So he's saying the New York Times article before Charlie Kirk was assassinated was a coincidence, but after he died, they pushed.
Spontaneously everywhere.
Yeah.
And like within literally like hours on like the Friday afterward, it was like no one was saying groyper. And then the next day, everyone said, you know, actually it's this guy.
Yeah, it was for sure coordinated. That
accuse
part.
you of inciting violence or doing stochastic terrorism.
That the killer was a fan of mine,
right,
or
I
right
remember
wing or
that,
something.
yeah.
Yeah.
They still, I mean, apparently large swaths of Democrats still believe that the shooter was MAGA or a groyper.
Well, yeah.
Like Jimmy Kimmel, and Jimmy Kimmel got to keep his show after saying that. Meanwhile, this girl who's not even following the conversation got fired for this podcast. No offense to Dasha.
Because all it takes is one, you know, someone says it was a groyper, and then they're like, oh, right. It was a honey. Come quick, a groyper.
Yes, yeah. It's like boomer couples in the Bay Area being like, new research shows that Charlie Kirk's killer was a groyper. Like that kind of thing. Sure. Do you feel like you are now the de facto successor of
No.
Charlie Kirk, and do you want that, and do you welcome it?
Well, I wouldn't say I am, only because he has such a specific role. He in an institution. Turning Point is the biggest campus group.
Right.
So, like, I don't have the infrastructure, the backing that he has, but he was the leader of the youth.
Yeah, and you now have like the hearts and minds of the youth.
Exactly.
And there's a vacuum to fill, which is, you know, a lot of, it's like scary, intimidating for a lot of people, because in many ways you guys are foils. Like, you come from somewhat similar backgrounds.
I think Steven Crowder probably fills the Charlie Kirk vacuum better than Nick Fuentes. I think Nick Fuentes is a very different thing.
For most people who aren't on the far right, you have very similar politics. So it does seem like a turning point. And I was
it's a turning point.
Wondering also if you view this moment as a unifying moment for the right, and if you would be willing to like set aside some of your beefs, some of your issues with your rivals, your adversaries on the right, to work toward a common goal. Because, you know, I've been drumming about this for the last few episodes. In my mind, the biggest challenge, or maybe not the biggest, but the most urgent challenge now facing the nation, is really making sure that the right puts down roots and can effectively defeat the institutional dominance, the progressive program of the left.
I think that naturally it is, and I even felt it because, of course, I'm always railing about Israel and about Jewish influence. And when Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk, which I do believe is what happened, you realize that what we all have in common is the left wants to kill us, literally. And they'll shoot someone as moderate as Charlie Kirk in the face for saying, like, there's two genders, big government sucks,
illegal immigration is bad. Like,
or like lower taxes or something, and that's like you signed your death warrant.
He's a hate monger,
you forfeited your life for that. So I was like, like we need to crush the left, and I support Trump and Stephen Miller crushing the left. The thing is, I question if there's give on the other side, because what happened with me early on is they tried to throttle me in the crib. In the institution, I was banned from CPAC. I was banned from all the stuff. And so I had to become militant and militate against the system because I was being kept out. And my only kind of recourse was to say, well, the system sucks. You know, if I'm not in the system, then that's because it's corrupt.
Right.
And maybe now that I'm on a certain level, they can't ignore me. There's a will.
And you're kind of seeing that now with so Nick Fuentes is saying, like, I'm not in the system, so the system must suck. You're seeing that with Nick Fuentes. You saw that today with MTG, where she lost Trump's endorsement. You see that with Tucker Carlson for even having Nick Fuentes on his show. You see that with Candace Owens for trying to figure out what happened to her dead friend, Charlie Kirk. And basically, anyone who like steps outside this neocon Republican Party is getting attacked right now. And that's kind of the fallout of Charlie Kirk getting assassinated. That's what's happening. It's like a huge fight on the right.
Willingness maybe to entertain me. If they're willing to platform me, then certainly I'd be willing to become friendly, but I don't think there's an appetite for that.
Well, why do you think the Overton window has shifted so much on the JQ? Not even just Israel, but
right
in general. I feel like, I mean, honestly, like even like probably 4 years ago, if someone like said something about the Holocaust, like I would get really emotional and upset. And then I had to kind of like evaluate why I had these, why
and
I even had thought
even
these
like
things.
now in hindsight, you're like, wait a minute, why was I as a school child in the United States like taught so much about the Holocaust? Like very
Why'd
like obvious
I have to learn about the Holocaust
stuff.
every year?
Oh, is this why she got fired for talking about the Holocaust?
Yes, yeah.
And like how deeply ingrained that even, was is like this like untouchable thing that you couldn't even talk about.
But I think now, like, not to interject, but I think just like as independent media has gotten stronger and the country has gotten browner, there's
anti-Semitism is on the rise.
Yes, it's ascendant. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah, certainly I think it all has to do with Elon Musk buying Twitter, because when Twitter became free speech, it became 4chan. That was why 4chan was so far right, is because it was the only place on the internet that was anonymous and there were no mods, no admins.
Yeah.
Twitter became that. And the second it did, it became it lurched far to the right. And what also I think pushed that forward was the war in Gaza.
Yeah.
Because
I think he's saying it softly, but yeah. Twitter didn't become 4chan. Twitter just became the only mainstream social media where freedom of speech is actually allowed. And that with what he just said, the war in Gaza, that's what everyone's going to be talking about. He's taken a very soft approach.
After the war in Gaza, that kind of forced the contradiction, because it said Jews are victims. Israel was created because they're victims of the Holocaust. And when the narrative is they're committing a genocide, people said, well, wait a second. Now they're not the victim. They're in the position of, they're on the other side of the asymmetry.
Yeah.
So that, I think the combination of the freedom to talk about it and then that as like kind of the initiating action, I think that's really what pushed everybody.
And it only makes it worse.
He's right, but he should go harder, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's right. And I think that's fair that people don't complain about Saudi Arabia and what they're doing to like Yemen, or what they did to Yemen and what the United States did. But I think it's specifically egregious in the world stage when it's the Jews committing a ethnic cleansing at the very least.
Yeah,
I don't
absolutely.
mean Jews, I mean Israel.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's saying it so nicely too, so that everyone could understand.
But when you talk about like the international Jewry, obviously Jews aren't a totally cohesive group. Like what George Soros wants is very different from what like a Zionist ultra conservative Jew wants. So I guess how international is the Jewry and how coordinated is their project?
Let's hear what he says to this.
Yeah, that's I talked about some.
I have doubts.
And there's no doubt about it. I talked with Gavin about this the other day. We debated for like an hour. They're obviously not monolithic.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of so-called anti-Semites make that mistake. They say, oh, it's the Jews are all on the same team, because the right-left divide runs through Jewry as well. There's a right and left of Jews in America, in Israel.
Yes.
But what I do think they all have in common, even though there's conflict, is they are all working out what is best for Jewish people as a distinct group.
They owe their loyalties not only to Israel, because as we know, there's plenty there. Zionists and Judeo-Marxists or whatever are often in conflict with one another, but they owe their loyalty to this supposedly religious but quasi-ethnic group, is what you're saying.
Yes, and working out even so
The Armenian girl was ready for that one.
far as there's a
but,
debate.
I mean,
it's
sure you can say that, but I think that's an oversimplification. I don't think that all Jews are in some cabal of Jewry. It's the Zionists who have the money and the means to be able to do the things that they do. Just like she mentioned George Soros, I think it's pretty naive to think that there's people who have billions of private dollars and that they're not trying to make Zionist things happen, especially with lobbying groups like AIPAC.
Yeah, I want to see how toned down Nick responds to it.
a debate about what is best for these unassimilable people that resist assimilating into the culture. And I think that's to their credit. They're unassimilable, but someone like a Soros thinks that we need an open society where we're tolerant and pluralistic.
Are they assimilable?
He's so good about it. Too.
You know, selective breeding, you pair with enough like Asians and Shiksas.
He's like, look, I'm talking to two Valley Girl actors. Like, I can't go straight out and just like go hard on this. Like, I need to explain it.
And
Right.
yeah,
They don't mind miscegenating,
yeah,
which is a kind of assimilating.
yeah.
That's true.
Eventually, yeah.
But as a community, there are always Jews. Like Sean McGuire is a good example. He's very liberal, Democrat.
Sounds Irish.
Who's
Sean McGuire, he's Jewish.
Who is
he's
that?
he's
That
a board
is.
member of Sequoia, a venture capital firm in Silicon Valley.
Well, I have an Irish last name.
I don't know. They probably
Sometimes
changed it.
change their name.
I didn't want to be the one to say it.
I go incognito.
It's a trope, you know.
Sometimes,
To blend in, you know, to conceal. But he said, what is a Jew? He said a Jew is someone who will still have Jewish grandkids. And so as a community, they're very resistant to, they want to maintain their identity, whatever that means to them, whether it's belief in God or the tradition. So historically,
I don't think it's that. I think that that's a polite and civil. Have you ever read John Murray Cudahy,
no.
Ordeal of Civility?
Oh, I'm familiar with this. Yeah, the title.
He made the best argument about it. He talks about how it's, again, like there is a polite religious veneer on it that serves as a kind of a rationalization for the tolerant civil society, but really what we're talking about is, you know, an ethnographic category, which is, you know, very interesting. We can plumb the depths of this question.
She's basically like, I don't like your half-baked answers, Nick. I know how you really feel. Tell me.
Forever. I'm personally very interested in it, but I guess I have to follow up with that. I did watch your episode after the death of Charlie Kirk. You were talking about the tide of left-wing domestic terrorism and political violence in America, and you lumped Gaza in with that, and that set off alarm bells. That felt to me like very shady and odd, almost like you were obfuscating, I guess, the nature of the problem, maybe to undermine or spite your rivals in the administration on the right. You were talking about the nihilistic violence coming from both sides and saying that it wasn't like partisan or ideological, but is that true? You know, like we all know that when George Floyd was killed, that unleashed, you know, a summer of like widespread protest, arson, looting. And when Charlie Kirk was killed, there was nothing of the sort. And I think you said so yourself at some point later that when influential figures on the left will openly celebrate like the deaths of their enemies, whereas influential figures on the right will generally condemn that sort of thing. So I don't think there's like a even relationship there, parity. And I was confused, why bring Gaza into it when you know that, I mean, we all know that there's, again, a big distinction between like the Zionists and the Marxists.
Right.
Who, by the way, the Jewish leftists aren't even having any grandchildren because they're not breeding, because they're all like furries with like thyroid conditions.
Well, it's keen that you picked up on that because that was a very deliberate choice.
I know.
But I also said the barbarism of like black people also, the criminals. And the goal of that, because what I said in the show is there needs to be an emerging consensus that is against nihilism. And specifically, like, I would say violence that is of a category that is unacceptable to Christians. And what I'm trying to do is put all of these issues on one side of the conversation, which is black people that kill indiscriminately, or anybody for that matter, predatory violence and those that would excuse it. The stochastic left-wing terrorism against the healthcare CEO, even against Jews for that matter, because there have been killings like in Colorado and D.C. by psycho pro-Palestine types,
on the left,
but also by Jews that say, you know, give them hell. We're going to starve them all because they're all guilty. And it's sort of
Palestinians in Gaza.
Yes. And it's sort of to say that the left and Christians have something in common, some elements of the left, which is we do actually want everybody to be treated with dignity and respect and love, even if we disagree with them. And that's a viewpoint not shared by religious Jews. That's not a viewpoint
more
shared
so
by
the liberal left than
no
like
Zionist Jews and the left also.
I mean Christians and liberal, like more when you say the left,
right? Yeah, more like liberals. But there's even some leftists too that don't want to see people get murdered. There's like lefty Catholics, for example.
Sure, trad Caths,
So that was like, there was like a rhetorical innovation to say the center of our view is a Christ-like love for the other, for everyone, to the point that we don't actually want to hurt them. And I think Zionists don't believe in that.
Well, to the degree that they feel like yes, they're chosen, and therefore.
Yeah, I guess I could see why Dasha got fired. If she works for a company that's controlled by, like, Jewish people, they might take offense to that.
What was that? I missed it.
It was a whole thing. But they're just saying some stuff that could be controversial. But I would say it's true. It's true things. But it just he just got right to the point. But they're being very, I've been saying this a lot, but they're being very nice. Like Nick isn't like streaming, like he's not screaming like he would be doing on his stream about these kind of things. He's trying to explain it in like a really general way that like everybody could understand. He's using this podcast as a way to like reach a new audience, I think. So he's not really saying everything. He's just trying to explain it really nicely.
Everyone else,
their souls are worth more than other people's souls.
Is less human or subhuman or depersoned or whatever. Yeah, I get that, but to me that seemed like a deliberate political gambit where you were mixing apples and oranges, muddling metaphors, and to me these problems are very distinct. Like there's the problem of left-wing monopoly on academia and media, their incitement of violence and stochastic terrorism, which they like habitually, do the thing where they project and pin it, like preemptively pin it on the right. And then there's the problem of not only Israel, but the Jewish lobby. I don't even want to call it the Israel lobby. It's the Jewish lobby, because these things are very like cross-pollinated. It's not like, you know what I mean? It's like a feedback loop and like an Ouroboros between Israel and the American and European Jewry, but those are separate problems and they have to be handled in a separate, like stepwise fashion. And my feeling about it, and I could be horribly wrong because I understand how captured both mainstream Democrats and mainstream Republicans are by the Israel lobby. My feeling about it is that if you can get the current administration to actively tackle the problem of...
You can't do that. You can't get Trump to tackle that.
Of the left wing, you can then at a later date persuade them to take on Israel or to like disentangle American interests
I don't
from
see that
Israeli
happening.
influence.
But don't you think when the like hate speech laws
Yeah.
are ostensibly an attempt at like they really mean like criticizing
Preventing
Israel.
any criticism of
Yeah.
Israel. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like ostensibly aimed at
Whoa.
hindering the left, but then it has these other repercussions
yeah.
of like
That's where she got fired. So that was Dasha, the girl that got fired, saying like, don't you think when these hate speech laws start getting implemented, like anyone that criticizes Israel is just going to get fired or taken to court over some lawsuit? That's some good
Yes.
foreshadowing, because that's exactly what happened to her.
silencing critical voices on the right and
Yeah,
left.
no, totally. And I think also you have to take like a moral long view, and these things take time, and they will, this has been the situation for generations. I think it'll take, at least a generation to undo, right? And surely you must be thinking about that.
About undoing the
you're-
left's institutional dominance.
Yeah, when you're trying to hoard power and influence or whatever.
I'm less concerned about that because I think that society is disintegrating, and I think that there's going to be a cataclysm, and I think there's just going to be a big shakeup. And the question is, who will inherit that? Because historically, our side is obsessed with like Hitler and stuff, but they literally LARP. They dress up like Hitler. They dress up like the brown shirts, and they think that it's going to be like Weimar Germany.
Yeah.
But I think that even if you look at 79 Iran, if you look at Russia in 1917, it was the strong horse that might not have even been in the majority, but just the strongest small faction that inherits the government during a period of tumult, during a period of instability. So that's why, and I agree, taking these progressives out is totally a smokescreen for putting the Zionists in. That's what they did at Harvard under the aegis of, we're going to get rid of Claudine Gay and DEI. They're going into the Middle East Studies department and making it pro-Israel. They put a Jewish doctor in charge of Harvard. And so when they say the left, what they really mean is the left-wing Jewry. Jonathan Greenblatt's out at the ADL, but Mort Klein is probably going to come in next, and he's going to write the better hate speech laws from the Zionist Organization of America. So that's where I say, again, when you say right and left, I'm trying to bypass these categories and like thematically reorient the divide where it puts Zionists and the left on the same side. Because what they have in common is they hate their enemies. And we don't, as Christians, hate our enemies.
So it sounds like Nick Fuentes' end goal is to get Zionists out of the right wing in American politics. That's what it sounds like he's saying.
So you're right. It's mixing a lot of different stuff,
except-
but
yeah,
Yeah.
but you hate everybody.
Yeah. Are you sure? Are you sure you don't hate
I don't
your
hate
enemies?
them. I just
No, I know. Yeah,
yeah, you know what I mean.
Or you see them as their souls having equal value,
Yes.
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah.
No internal monologue, but
I also wanted to ask you, what do you think is worse, legal or illegal immigration? Kind of a trick question.
definitely legal.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah.
You guys agree on that?
Yes, we do.
Legal immigration is
you and I
worse.
actually agree on the question on the JQ, and we agree on the question of immigration. People get very confused when you have an immigrant who's like, "Hey, it's easy to hate illegal immigration, but do you have the courage to hate legal immigration?" And obviously, a friend of mine who I guess shall remain unnamed for now because I don't know if she wants to be mentioned, made the best point. Every time you pipe up about this, they'll say like, well, as an immigrant, don't you owe your loyalty to other immigrants by sheer dint that you're also an immigrant? And it's like, isn't that the best case against legal immigration? Because it's like, oh, we're bringing everybody here because we owe our loyalties. But I'm wondering if you can extrapolate on that.
Yeah, I totally agree. And the problem to me is the demographic change inherently. It's not how they're coming in, it's who is coming in and how many.
Yeah.
And with illegals, you can make a very easy case that they should be removed because they have no legal basis in the
Right.
country. So everybody could say, well, they don't have their papers. But legal immigrants come here, jobs, kids, merit. In many cases, they're an economic value add. And yet they're still contributing to the problem, which is alienating America. So, yeah, I totally agree.
What do you think is the right balance
Of what?
of legal immigration?
I think that it's just got to stop for like 10 years
Okay.
because historically,
God.
You need to overcorrect.
yeah. And
To
people can come in
rebalance.
eventually, but
just gotta stop
a
for, like, 10
proportion
years.
of foreign-born to native.
Yes.
It's not immigration when 3 million people come in every year for 30 years.
Right. And I mean, the other thing that you mentioned on Glenn Greenwald's show, which is a very thorny and uncomfortable issue to talk about, because he made the comment that, like, well, you know, you look at these Ellis Island era immigrants, Irish, Italians, Slavs, Jews, who were at the time not considered white. They were considered ethnically impure. And, like, we can quibble about that, but the new immigrants who are coming in from, you know, Asia, Africa, India, the Middle East are inherently very culturally and spiritually different. And I liked what you said that you know, as a Christian, that you believe in their inherent value and humanity as human beings, but that doesn't negate that they are profoundly altering the demography and the culture of the country that they came to enjoy. This is all very, like, I hate talking about this because it makes you sound like an evil racist monster, but it is like a very pressing issue.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and it's uncomfortable for people to admit, but, you know, there is something in...
She's worried that a lot of the immigrants that are coming in now are not like immigrants in the past that were just like Eastern European or like some off-white shade. But nowadays, she's saying they're like people from Asia and Africa that are just totally from a different culture, like unrelatable. It is a little bit racist, but it's a real concern, I guess.
I mean, it's fair if you take it in the context where they don't want to assimilate to the American culture, in which in the past that's what many people did, and is that they were happy to be Americans. And when they came, they became Americans. Now, not now, where everyone comes here and tries to bring the old country back with them. You know,
Yeah, and you have to think about
flag or whatever.
At-
You know, it's
yeah, and at the rate they're coming in, and at the rate that like Americans are like having children, like normal Americans will become a minority in a certain amount of time, which is like that's kind of a new thing. So it's a real concern. It's hard for me to say that it's not a little bit racist, but I'm not going to say it's like a wrong way to think. It is a concern. I would understand why some people would have that concern.
I mean, it depends.
It
Depends how
really
much
does.
know.
Yeah, it does. It's a good question.
Innate that
depends
we
on if you
like what
care
is
about
familiar.
having
You
a-
know,
You
they're
said this, yeah.
it's tribal
white
and it's in
culture
some
in
ways
America.
psychological. It's like it's how I saw some study.
Well, you could have to be convinced that the white culture in America would go away if you let in these immigrants.
Well, I mean, what more do you need other than the math of reproduction
Right,
rates?
exactly. Which is why it's like a serious question to say, even though it does come off a little bit racist. But
I mean, I don't really think so.
yeah.
And even if it could come off as having the essence of racism, does that matter?
No, it doesn't. Not at all. But that might be why this girl got fired from Succession.
Probably.
But no, you're allowed to ask these questions. They're totally fine.
Where it said that we marry people that have genetic similarity, like our third cousin.
Yeah.
And it's so like you subconsciously identify with
Very
people that are.
Islamic.
What's
Yeah, very Islamic.
that? There you go. Yeah. But there's something true about that. And, you know, Jason Richwine had a famous debate with Mark Krikorian about this like 20 years ago. And, you know, there's this false syllogism where they say Italians became white Therefore, Nigerians are not considered white now, but they will one day.
yeah.
And it's like, it's never going to happen. They're not white. So.
I actually do think of all the people coming into the nation, Nigerians probably stand the best shot at assimilation. But
Well, that's the
They're
Nigerian
pretty
embassy
great.
right there.
Actually.
and even,
Some
but even
around
if
the
you believe that assimilation
Nigerians are like super happy Christian people. Is what I think that's what she's getting at there.
can occur, just I suck at math. I can barely add or multiply, but yeah, we're talking about the rate of change is unsustainable. Just the rate makes assimilation all but impossible. The other
Right.
thing that
She's not
I
even
wanted
wrong.
to add to those comments that you made to Glenn is that it's not only you who feels comfortable and familiar living in the society. I think it is a lot of these incoming immigrants who have slowly assimilated. They prefer it vastly to their own countries. Otherwise, they wouldn't be here.
Well,
And you're welcome for that.
that's when you say, like, I don't really want to live around people. I don't want to live in Belarus
Yeah.
around other Belarusian people.
Yeah.
I want to live in America. And I am a bit more of a lib in that I want, like, a multicultural,
I like multicultural. We love
I
it.
like
It's great.
multiculturalism. But yeah,
It's
like
not
Hannah
always
said, it's
great,
a rate of
but-
change thing.
It's
which
not
I
always
It's not
great.
great when they
Makes
steal your
sense.
Amazon packages from your stoop,
That happens to me.
or when everything is
I've had Amazon packages get stolen, but I don't know who stole it.
behind plexiglass at the Walgreens. But
Yeah,
It's
she's
just a
right.
question of
She's
how
right
much
about that.
diversity, because I think about like Russia or China. These are diverse countries, actually.
Yes.
They're not.
She's not asking the right question, though. You need to ask, why are they coming here? And it's because we blew up all their countries. That's why we're getting a lot of these Arab immigrants, if that's her problem, at least.
Not homogeneous. They never have been. But there's this understanding that you've got like Russians and the ethnic core of Russia, and then you've got Chechens. And they're
Yes.
not really Russians. Like they are, but they're not. And same thing with
Chechens are
Uyghurs and
scary.
like Turkestan or Mongolians. They're part of China, but they're hyphenated. And I think we could be comfortable with a level of that, but it's just a question of you get so much of it that America is destroyed in the process and it means nothing anymore. That's, to me, the variable.
yes, yeah, I think I would agree with you on that. And I think that I can't speak for
I don't know if I would agree with him on that, but you're allowed to have these conversations. That's the important part.
China or like India or anywhere else that has like diverse ethnic minorities. But I think historically, the case in Russia was that people knew that they were ethnic minorities and they knew that they were ethnically different. So that was kind of factored into the national calculus, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, and because they see themselves as an empire. Russia's an empire. China's effectively an empire. And America's the People's Republic, of, by, and for the people. And there's this egalitarian idea that everyone's going to come here and we're all the same. And I think that we are an empire with an ethnic core of white people. And I'd even be okay
he's
with
not
saying
wrong.
that's only English people that are Protestant.
Yes.
If someone said the president has to be an English Protestant from the founding fathers, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, I'm same.
If they said no Italian can be president, I'd say fine.
Same.
We could be a senator, but yeah, you can be the president in the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
And it's like I get what he's saying, though. Like I really do. But it is controversial.
I don't follow.
What do you mean?
Why? Because that's like the founding stock.
Yeah, because that's like what America is. That's the Constitution. That's the founding stock, the colonies, the Civil War. And it's sort of like having a Chinese premier that's doesn't have slanty eyes.
Well, yeah, and when they quibble with you over it, and they're like, "Well, yeah, historically, America is an idea." Well, it's like, yeah, maybe it was an idea to some extent for the founding fathers, but they didn't budget unlimited immigration from the third world.
But
It didn't
America's
occur to
also
them.
expanded so much.
Yeah. Yes.
From there, that was a brief point in America's history, which is itself very brief. And eventually, America's history will be it'll be something else longer than it was that.
Yeah, that's a good point. But I would say that it's like even the system, like the Constitution and all that kind of stuff, it is like inherently English. It comes from the English, and Italians struggle to assimilate because
They don't have work ethic.
yeah, we're lazy, we're corrupt, we're
Yeah.
loud,
Passionate,
we have no
yeah.
manners. It's the ordeal of civility.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
shtetl Jews and like Italian farmers from southern Italy.
Yeah.
Can we handle self-government? No.
No.
Like,
No.
we need English people to tell us what to do.
No, Italians in Italy like go on.
Man, if they were able to get the video for this podcast like properly, it would be so good.
On siesta in the middle of the day to
Mhm.
like eat lunch and beat their wife. Like they shutter their shops, and that's actually what makes like Mediterranean countries so nice, like Italy, Spain, right? Because they don't have a Protestant work ethic, and they don't have that Protestant understanding of money. So they'll give you like a bunch of free shit if you buy drinks like tapas or whatever, and it's like that's why you're poor,
Yep.
because you're handing out free shit.
Much hospitality. A Baroque culture.
Yeah.
Wait, I forgot. I had a
Giving away
question.
her pretty privilege right now.
Oh, this is a fun one. Okay, so you know that Kanye song where he says he can't name a Jew that he trusts? Okay, he can name 3. Can you name 3? Nick Fuentes challenge. Can you name 3 Jews that you trust?
3 Jews I trust? Yeah. None of them are famous, though.
Okay,
They're all
so-
like personal, and I know it sounds like a cop-out. Like, they go to a different school, you don't know them. They're the
yeah.
good ones. No, but I have a lot of Jewish friends. Many of them are actually Catholic converts, though. Ethnically Jewish. One of them's, I think, is religiously Jewish. What I like about Jews, they're funny, they're smart.
They're funny.
They are a little loose with the truth. They're a little play fast and loose with like their let's
He's
just say
getting
like
into it.
exaggeration comes easy,
Yeah, the fish
lying
was
maybe
this
comes
big.
easy, but
They're in it.
Much like women, they like to make it about themselves.
yeah, very narcissistic. The men are very effeminate because of their mothers. That's super real.
Yeah.
They have a similar thing to Italians with like
Yeah, I
overbearing
was gonna
mother.
say that.
I will say this might be going too deep, but I know 2 Jews in my life, and one of them works very hard, and the other one is really funny, and that's about it. They don't get political like this, but I see a lot of them, a lot of like Zionists online, and it's different.
Jewish mother, Italian mother. Is your mother Italian?
She is, yeah. But what
You have a Jewy affect from time to
you
time.
think?
You have a
An
Jewy.
Italian affect. Let's
You have
not
a
give
Jewy
them all
affect.
the. Yeah, they're bombastic too.
Just the impulse
So
to even be
bombastic.
funny. I feel like
That's
Yeah.
super
you know,
true. We are like
humor
long
is
lost
really
cousins.
there. And I mean, I'm a bit of a Philo-Semite myself.
Yeah. Are you really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like.
Yeah,
They're
I mean, I'm realistic. I like, I think they are inordinately powerful and definitely like,
Yeah.
they have different laws.
And they're inordinately powerful because they just don't take no for.
So I kind of think Dasha got fired because of our co-host, because she was really going hard on these questions.
She's telling us exactly how she feels about it.
Yeah, she is.
I don't
Yeah.
like her for it.
Well, I'm
Woman after my heart.
I think she's doing a really good job, because I think she is on the right, but she's doing a really good job trying to like pull people from the left to like care about this issue. And I think that's what she's doing a really good job at. And Nick Fuentes kind of realizes this and says, all right, all my answers need to be like non-confrontational, so that everybody can understand them. And that's what's happening here. And that's probably why Dasha got fired from her Succession role. That's my hot take.
an answer,
That's very true.
and yet they make you feel bad about it.
Mhm.
So you can put a positive spin on it and be like, well, as far as they are concerned and their interests are concerned, they are a good example of how to keep a community running.
Yeah.
And keep it successful. When people are like, oh, Jewish nepotism, it's like, well, no, nepotism is great. You should be putting your friends and family on.
Well, when you talk about this impending collapse,
That's a hot take.
You know, someone gaining power, I kind of feel like it is going to be the Jews.
Yeah, I mean, it sort of is in a way. I mean, Trump is kind of this populist tyrant or demagogue aspirationally, and the power behind him is Stephen Miller or guys like him. It's the Israel lobby. People could say something about he's trying to restrain them, or in his heart he's America first, and I sort of believe that.
Miller, you got to give him some credit.
I can't.
You got to give him some credit. He's one of the few Jews I can think of who doesn't seem more loyal to Israel than he does to America.
I disagree. I think he's very loyal to Israel. When we were bombing Iran, he was cheering it on. And he's a Trump guy, so you get it. But
Yeah.
I think he's definitely loyal to them. And I think that the part of his affect that people like is that he's there's this contemptuousness about him. When he goes on TV and is like very arrogant and cocky, people like that. I think that betrays a contemptuousness.
You think?
I think that a lot of Jews are very glib and very cocky, and they're good salesmen because they're contemptuous.
But can't people say the same thing about you?
No, because I think with me it comes across I'm a little more deferential. I think I'm a little warmer, a little more
I don't
polite.
know. Yeah, you are.
Jews are very pushy. They'll
They
put their
are.
finger in your
Yes,
lapel and
yes,
be like,
they
you know
are.
what you need to do? And I feel like
They're close talkers.
yeah. And God bless them. I mean, that you're right. They're incredible salesmen,
And they're annoying clarifiers, and they love offering unsolicited advice. And they are a very specific people.
they're shysters, They're
Now we're getting a little
and
antiseptic.
I think there's
here.
a contemptuousness there. Like Italians are loud and they're bombastic, but Italians are very
There's a warmth.
And there's a warmth, and there's also like kind of a humility. There's like the house needs to be a certain way, and you don't invite yourself over. And there's like a lot of faux pas that Jews don't have. Jews will be like, they'll invite themselves over. They'll tell you, they'll ask for stuff.
They're really getting into the Jews.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, maybe that is why she got fired. They kind of went kind of hard. It was a weird interview.
Types.
Italians will never ask for money, but Jews they'll ask you for anything.
It works for them. They get.
They'll ask for anything.
100%.
They kind of like.
I will say I've never had a Jewish person ever ask me for money. Never.
Obliterate all boundaries of like cordiality and politeness, and are inherently, I guess, in conflict with WASP society in that way.
And they're obliterating Gaza. As we speak.
It's true. Well, they'll take as much as they can get, and that's advantageous, but
I mean,
it betrays like a disrespect, I think, to
I gotta be
Gentiles.
careful. I gotta be
I
careful.
just, they don't view other people as important as they are, or as like worthwhile as they are. It's very like, but you have to admire.
They're getting
it, kind
into
of.
it. Oh my
I
I wish I
do.
god.
was more like that and could just be like, "Fuck you all."
Yeah, there's a shamelessness, and to succeed, you got to be shameless to some
Yes,
extent. So it's a superpower for sure.
I had a question about where you think you're headed in the future, in the sense that there's like been a discernible shift in the media with how they mention you. I almost an outright attempt to normalize you. You got, the New York Times profile, you did Glenn's show. Obviously those are very different. One is like legacy and the other one is independent. But, and I've noticed also with the libs, of course, they're still obligated to talk about you, in a hedgy way and make sure that they clarify that you're a bad man, like caveat everything. But yeah, it's true that you cannot be ignored anymore, and I was wondering,
conflate you with Trumpism.
Yes.
Mhm.
Well, they're
Yeah, which is funny.
they're stupid. It's really funny I mean, the other thing that people don't give the media credit for is how bottlenecked they are. So it's almost not their fault. They're just like bad at fact checking and doing research. But I'm curious how you feel about that, and whether you yourself have actively tried to rehabilitate your own image. Like I noticed on Glenn's show that you were trying to be a little bit more careful and less incendiary.
She's really getting
You
him
didn't
right
have
now.
the streamer.
I mean, that's exactly what he's doing right now. He's trying to be less incendiary.
It's being pretty incendiary.
He is, but just the way that all these questions were brought up, like, it was like a slow burn. But yeah, he did get there.
Persona going.
She's a good interviewer.
Well,
She's
I think
really
that
good,
whenever I do
actually.
an interview, I'm always a little more like measured.
Yeah.
Because it's
measured.
harder to
Yeah,
be
that's a good way
measured
to
when you're
put
by
it.
yourself.
It's measured.
As when you're on like a show, you're in a room.
When you're by yourself, talking to your fans that all say, "I will rape and kill for Nick Fuentes," it's a different vibe. I get that. Yeah.
By yourself, talking to a camera, and when there's no one like literally watching you, it's easy to get kind of like whipped up and just say whatever because there's no eyes on you. But as I have sort of entered the
Makes
mainstream, I am deliberately, I wouldn't say like moderating the message, but definitely trying not to be as like inciting.
As he's getting into the mainstream, he's realizing, like, these two ladies have a different audience than him. So the responses and answers need to be different. But they're still conveying the same message. I think that's what this is about.
Because when I feel like the game years ago is being an edgelord had a lot of currency. To say the edgiest thing got you attention and people were outraged. And now I feel like it's become passé.
Yeah.
It's almost
Passé.
like cringe to be an edgelord because it's like, oh, great, this guy's making a Hitler joke. He thinks that's still funny.
Well, yeah, because there was the whole like dirtbag left thing, and then Elon bought
kind of
Twitter,
vulgar,
and you can just say
yeah.
the most outrageous, like vulgar, crazy shit in public now.
Right.
And
Apparently
I forgot where I was
not.
going
You might
with
get
that, but I had a
fired.
great point. Fuck. So whatever. Well, the other question I had for you is: do you still feel like an underdog? And if so, what would it take for you to stop feeling that way, to not feel that way?
Excuse me, I got a frog.
Do you want to take a break? I have to pee.
Me too.
We can circle back.
They should check the camera when they take a fucking break. Fix this shit.
He's bad news. I was friends with them, but crashed out after falling out. Milo.
I'm asking a more kind of gossipy question.
But he is very smart.
Is he?
Yeah.
I'll let Anna settle.
That like British,
Oh, right.
He has the gift of gab for sure. Very manipulative and successful at it too.
Okay, we're back.
Yeah.
And we're talking about Milo Yiannopoulos because I want the tea.
Yes.
I want to know.
Tea.
Yeah, what happened? Why'd you have a falling out?
I don't really know. It's sort of weird because we were on the Ye campaign, on the Ye team, and he tried to get me fired. So the way it happened was, is that okay? I thought that was my hair. His trees like touching
sorry.
me.
It's
No,
a
you're
lot
good.
of plain. I tried to fill the space. I did.
Yeah,
the
no,
set
that was
design.
smart,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's just. So I wanted to get in touch with Ye, but Alex Jones, producer, I knew she had his number, but I didn't have a great relationship with her. But I knew Milo did. So I said, Milo, you got to get his number from her. Because he was always texting me, you got to get his number. I said, I'm trying.
You reached out to Kanye?
I told Milo to get the number from her.
Okay.
She gave it to him. And then he was texting Ye.
Okay.
And And for like a month, he was texting Ye, and I was like, bro, give me the number. And he's like, well, not yet. And eventually I said, you know what? I said, cut this shit. I'm like, give it to me. Don't give it to me. But just make a decision. Stop playing games with me. And he goes, okay, well, we'll fly out tomorrow. Will you be on the flight? I said, yeah. So we fly out there, and first, Ye didn't know who I was. He knew Milo because Milo had been famous 10 years ago or whatever. And I was just kind of in the entourage.
Right.
And Ye started to really take a shine to me. He liked me because I was speaking up and, I was doing my thing. And Milo, typical, total control freak. He thought this was his big opportunity to, like, control me because he wanted what the Groypers have. He wanted them to love him. He wanted them to support him. And so he thought that because he had the inroad with Ye, he could use this to gain power over me and say, I'm in control of this dynamic. And so we had a big fight over something stupid. He basically said, don't post anything about how you're working with Ye because, we want to make it a big reveal, or I don't know why, but he had this thing where he's like, don't tell anyone. And I posted on Telegram alluding to the fact that I was working with Ye, and he flipped out.
But did you?
On Telegram?
You must have known that would cause.
You didn't have an NDA?
No NDA.
Wow.
It wasn't like it wasn't from Ye. It was from Milo.
So
Milo
he was doing
Yeah,
a little
yeah.
bit of gatekeeping of his own, and
Yeah.
you swooped in there and kind of cut out the middleman.
Sort of. It was. I don't know why he did that. Maybe it was a shit test, but just wanted to tell me what to do. But I posted that, and then he was screaming, yelling, losing his mind, and I said, you know what? I don't
Milo
need this.
crashed
I'll go
out.
home. Fuck you. You think you can control me? I'll buy my own flight back. I don't need you, and I don't need this. And so then he took that to Ye and said, you need to fire him immediately because he's insubordinate and he won't do what I tell him to, and blah, blah, blah. And Ye said, no, don't fire him. You
Well,
tell
when you
him.
say fire, are you kind of an intern in this capacity?
Yeah,
Like,
basically.
I'm like
Yeah.
losing interest because this is like catty girl gossip.
I know, it's stupid.
I'm listening.
But yeah, I know it's minutia, but he basically tried to get me fired. He failed, and and then he represented it to me like, "Oh, I didn't try. I'm giving you a warning." I said, "No, you failed," and I knew that. And then I basically got him fired. Then he was talking shit about Ye behind his back. I told Ye fired him. He rehired him again a year later. It didn't matter,
Right.
but I think that was the problem. But I don't know. He just switched up and hated me one day for no reason. Milo did. So I don't really even know.
Homosexuals can be a viper.
Rude and catty. I remember
viperous
I
even.
responded to something that he posted on Twitter where he was threatening to like leak secrets about somebody. It may have been you, but maybe not. And he said something like, "You don't know what you're dealing with, little girl."
Yeah, the drama queen.
What?
Now I am scared. Now I'm like, let's change
yeah,
topic.
yeah. But
Because
I
I
think,
really
like,
just don't want that ire of that like evil gay guy. Like,
But I know, I sympathize with Milo because what happened to him was really disgusting and unfair. Like the
What,
way
the
that he
pedo
was
stuff?
canceled. Yeah, because
he's not even canceled though. He's fine.
he lost. I think his publisher dropped him at the time. Right? He was he lost his book deal. The book, I think, had a lot of pre-orders. It was slated to make a lot of money. He was going to be very successful. I think people in like our industry or field, whatever, tend to be like self-saboteurs and their own worst enemy. And part of it is like shit that you bring upon yourself. But he was part of that first, like almost pre-order cancel wave. And if I had to psychoanalyze it, I think probably part of his beef with you is that he feels like you got away with it a little bit more. Not scot-free, but you kind of made it out more or less unscathed. And now you're on the...
I don't know much about Milo, but I feel like Nick Fuentes just rolled up in Ye's crew and just said like real shit. And Ye was like, yeah, like that's real shit. And Milo was, in fact, the middleman that was trying to control everything. But this is a one-sided take from me because I don't know anything about the other guy, Milo.
come up and everybody's buzzing about you and blah blah blah.
That's a huge part of it.
Yeah, and I think he feels upset about it because he was he felt like owed some due or whatever. And
also
I
less
get
reliant on, because you've been so deplatformed, you don't have a book deal. They can't
Right.
they can't,
Yes,
there's
And
not much they can
yeah.
really take from you.
Yeah, well, that was a part of it because we had been friends for a couple of years, and he's a very fake person. He's always doing that supervillain persona, But the one real moment that I had with him was about that.
Yeah.
It was the day of his confirmation, which I drove to like an idiot, and he was like, we were driving around, and he like, that was the most real I'd ever seen him, and he was just like devastated that he got canceled because he was like, I should have been a celebrity, I should have been somebody, and it was taken from me. So that's like his supervillain origin story, which is kind of pathetic. But
I mean, that's a little like pathologically gay, like Andrew Cunanan-esque, whatever. But like, I get why you would be aggrieved to get canceled over some stupid bullshit that everybody already knows is going on in the gay community. Ain't a thing. Like, come on.
For
And
anyone
it was almost also like a precursor to like the Me Too stuff and all of that.
Sure.
So-
I have a hypothetical question that I'm just curious for your take on, pertaining to Christianity. How do you feel about, well, because there have been sort of waves of anti-Christian violence, Kirk included, sometimes I'm at church and I'm like, what if I'd be happy, to die in church. But I hope I don't. And like, what do you think about people being armed in church?
I
as a
support it.
Christian?
I'm a big supporter of it.
But don't you think there's something, I'm of two minds, right? Because I'm like, it'd be nice if someone was carrying here so they could protect us from the assassins. But on the other hand, I'm like, we also should be willing to give up our lives, for our beliefs. And that's the more Christian kind of high road.
That's so true, Dasha, and so beautiful. It is. But also,
That's gross.
But
Dave.
I want a guy there with a gun.
but also,
You really shouldn't have to worry about someone shooting up your church, but if everyone in your church wants to open carry and if they're responsible, I guess that's fine to protect you from the assassin or whatever. But the real problem is you shouldn't be worrying about people shooting up churches. That's a problem.
no, I get it. But also, there's
maybe they
something
shouldn't
about
receive
having a gun in
communion?
church that's similar to like when they sell trinkets at church or allow photography at church. And like, I'll travel sometimes to different countries and visit like Catholic sites because they're beautiful and profound. And what always grinds my gears, like I don't belong to an organized religion, but I am kind of like an absolutist in the sense of like, you shouldn't be able to take photos in a church. And like, women should cover their shoulders and they shouldn't sell like crap outside. Right?
Well, yeah. It's just their culture.
No, I get it. But like,
You're talking about Mexico.
I'm talking about Mexico.
You're talking about Guadalupe.
I have a Mexican. I have a keychain
I bought
that
a
says
lot.
Mexico on my bag that some girl gave me in Mexico.
I mean, I buy a lot of that stuff.
Yeah,
went
I
to
know. Me
Guadalupe.
too. Me
Have
too.
you seen
and I take
Guadalupe?
photos. I'm not. I'm a
course.
total hypocrite. Like,
I was
do,
taking
like,
pictures of
l-
Guadalupe like she was
Yeah.
a celebrity. I couldn't hide. my photo
Dude,
reel was
this-
like of one. Yeah. Have you seen Our Lady of Guadalupe?
No, I haven't.
Have you been to Mexico?
No,
Do you want to
Oh.
go?
not really.
Let's
No,
go-
I don't want
let's
to die.
go.
Yeah.
No, Mexico City is very safe.
This is crazy.
yeah.
I wouldn't go to like,
It's-
I don't know, Tijuana or something.
Juarez, Ciudad Juarez.
I just hate leaving America. I feel like it's just the Wild West out there.
Have you been anywhere?
Yeah, I've been to Europe, but I don't know. I feel like we just haven't made. You can drink the water. You can't
Yeah.
drink the water over there
Yeah.
in Mexico, and
No, you can't. That's true.
I also get afraid about like getting assassinated in other countries because,
Wait, why?
like, if a foreign intelligence wanted me dead.
All right, I think I'm going to end the stream. This wasn't as hot as I thought it would be.
No.
No, it was a good interview, but damn, if the video was working properly, it might be worth finishing it. But there's another like 45 minutes if you want to listen to it. I got the source in the video description.